at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
Were you uninvited to game night? Do you play board games with the ferocious intensity of an iron-fisted oligarch? Have friends left game night asking, how do you sleep at night? Then you should get a mattress from Mattress Firm. They can help anyone sleep. Right now, during Mattress Firm's President's Day sale, save up to $500 on Tempur-Pedic, plus get a $300 instant gift. Get matched at Mattress Firm. Sleep at night. Restrictions apply. See store or mattressfirm.com for details.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Hey, Kansas City, it's Dusty Likens, and in case you didn't already know, I'm here to tell you that you can watch all the shows here on 96.5 The Fan across all our social media channels. That's right. If you want to see our smiling faces as we talk about the best sports fans and teams in the country, subscribe to our YouTube channel or watch on Twitter, Facebook, and Twitch. Wake up with us, eat lunch with us, and go home with us. Your home for Kansas City sports, 96.5
You're listening
Fan.
to the all-new 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports. KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
This is probably the most fitting this song has ever had for this show, as the boys are definitely back in town. Back on the web stream, back in our studios, back in our beds, back to learning how to drive a car again. And
back to dealing with snow.
Yeah, man. Like, welcome back, baby. Can't wait. I don't know, getting off the plane yesterday and like getting into the city. I think Mac got back at 1 a.m.
What time did you get back, Mac? About 8:30 last night?
Yeah,
Not too bad.
Yeah,
That's not bad at all. I mean, Josh used to get back at 3 a.m., so 8:30 p.m. is absolutely nothing for you coming back last night. So at least you made it back. That was that was a fun airport to be in yesterday. I'll tell you what, a lot of people going all over the place, and so much air traffic that everything was delayed. So that's
saw a lot of familiar faces.
Did you? Yeah, we did, didn't we?
Well, for a second, I thought I saw Sean Barber.
I said that to you. I go, look, there's Sean Barber over there, and it wasn't him. I actually did see Jeff Gordon at the airport yesterday, the NASCAR driver, which
Sal
was cool.
Paolantonio is there.
ESPN. We saw Florio at the airport again yesterday.
Yep,
he's all over the place.
Yeah, he was there. He looked lost.
Yeah, he's the common man, though. He's flying out of that airport. You know, who else did we see at the airport yesterday? Anybody else? Not really, I guess, that I noticed yesterday. But everybody was there. It's one terminal, and everybody was flying out and headed back to where they were from. But I'll be honest with you guys, I was okay yesterday, and then we landed back in Kansas City. It really hit me like that sucked. Like that game really, really sucked, and it kind of hit me hard when we landed yesterday. I'm like, damn, now we got to go an entire offseason figuring out ways to make the football team better so we can win a championship.
Did you
again,
watch
right?
it again?
No, hell no.
You'll never watch that game
No,
again?
I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't even record it. You know, I mean, I remember I did, and then I deleted it right away. But no, I'm not. No, there's no chance.
I think if I got home today, and let's say, which it wouldn't be because they probably have like network television, but let's say it's like 3 o'clock and it started, I would probably watch it.
You would?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't watch it from the perspective of the television. So
I got you. Okay.
I still want to watch it from that. Like, I watched it and saw it, but like, I mean, from a perspective of like in the press box way up high. I never saw like what Mahomes looked like. Did he really look rattled? Like, some people were telling me that like his eyes and like his antics, he looked like he had like, you know, like when we saw Josh Allen in the AFC Championship game.
Right.
Like you were like, that guy's rocked. Like right now, like that first drive, I was like, that's not Josh Allen. That's not the MVP. That guy's definitely rattled in the moment. Like I didn't see that from where we were at. And I'd like to see, you know, like how dominated our defense or our offensive line got dominated from our offensive line. So I mean, I think that's like one of the things that like some people will say, like, you know, that's how they really enjoy football. I think that's why a lot of people don't go to football games anymore.
Well, it's so good on TV. It really is. I mean, the NFL has done such a good job of televising their sport. I think for me, it truly is the only sport that really is better overall on television than it is in person. I think if you go to a basketball game, much better in person than watching it on TV. Baseball, in my opinion, clearly better, at the ballpark than it is on television. But football has just done such a fascinating job of televising the sport and making it seem so convenient, if you will, if that's the right term to even use, when you watch it on TV, because they show you everything you need to know, and they've got great production value, cameras all over the place. So it is a great experience, obviously. But being in the arena, in the stadium, is always fun. But you're right. I think the football experience on TV is good. The only reason I would go back and watch that game, which I'm not going to, because I want to forget that game just like everybody else does, I just want to see what Tom Brady was all about, because I was reading reviews of him yesterday, and I don't know, you guys that watch the game on television, you can let us know, was he bad or was he good? Because every headline and story seemingly was Tom Brady didn't live up to the super moment, and he never should have been calling this game. And you and I talked to Greg Olson, last week, who was replaced by Tom Brady, who was fantastic on games. How was Tom Brady? Was he good, or was it just the reviews being haters out there hating on Tom Brady too?
So, knowing the result of the Super Bowl, I go back to the question I asked. Would you like to know the result of the season before it happens? Like, if I had told you, now hindsight's 1,000,000% here. Hey, here's what happens. Philly blows them out. And I told you that in November. Would you still wouldn't want to know if that was the outcome? I mean, I guess you can't really tell. You don't really know what the outcome is.
Yeah, you don't know. No. I mean,
what
was your question?
I said, if I told you how the result of the Super Bowl, like before the playoffs started, would you want to know, or would you rather see?
No, you don't want to know, because it takes away the suspense. I mean, I go back to having the child. We didn't find out what we were having because it's a good surprise, and so if you know it going in, it's kind of like, okay, it wasn't a huge surprise. But if I knew in November that they lost to the Eagles in the Super Bowl, why am I going to watch the rest of the season? Honestly, I mean, that's kind of how I feel about it. Oh, they lose in the Super Bowl? I'm out the rest of the way. They're not winning the championship. So, no, I don't want to know that ahead of time. Absolutely not.
Mac, you'll watch the game again, won't you?
Yeah, for sure. I want to get the TV perspective. I want to see some stuff. And
the text line's like, do not do it.
It's going to be brutal.
I'm with the text line. I have no interest in going back and watching that game at all. I'm not a big re-game watcher anyway. I don't go back and watch games and watch them all over again. I saw it. I enjoyed it in the moment. I have my perspective kind of in the moment. I don't need to go back and study game film. I don't care enough to do that kind of stuff. But the only thing I would go
studying film.
No, but some people do though, dude. Like some people go back and they'll study the game film, as they like to tell you. The only reason I would go back is to see what Tom Brady had to say and how he did, and kind of make my own opinion. But because they lost the game, I really don't have any interest, and I'll let the other people decide how good Tom Brady was or how bad Tom Brady was, in that game, and if they made the right decision to move on from Greg Olson. But that would be the only reason why. Maybe the new score bug, because every Super Bowl they release a new score bug, and people complain about that. But I want to move away from this game. It's time for, I think, all of us to kind of just cleanse from, because that was so uncharacteristic of anything we've really ever seen, right? Like, when was the last time, other than that other Super Bowl, where everybody was just throttled, and we have not seen a situation where Patrick Mahomes looks like he was lost. I saw somebody yesterday saying it looked like he was seeing ghosts out there. And he may have been seeing ghosts out there, in that game. We've never seen a situation where he was rattled so much, or where Spags was kind of outcoached. Like, they focused on Barkley, forgot about everything else, It was just a weird game, and one that I don't think tells the story of who the Kansas City Chiefs are. It obviously tells the final result, but I don't think that game defines this organization and defines this team and defines what we've accomplished and will continue to accomplish here. It's just a bump in the road, in my opinion.
No, I think it tells a lot more than that. I think it tells you the recipe of how you beat the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, and that's now Andy Reid's got that recipe. He's got to fix it. And that'll be the beauty of this offseason, to see how they go about it. I mean, Gronk was talking at the postgame show. He goes, this is what we did in Tampa back in the day and beat them. And so now you've got two kind of blueprints out there. And so now Andy Reid needs to really look at a couple of those and say, okay, this is what we have to do to kind of counteract that, because it worked in the Super Bowl, right? Philadelphia did kind of lay out that blueprint. So that's what we're probably going to see moving forward with teams against the Chiefs, which is why we were talking yesterday. I don't know if this was on the air or we were at the airport or wherever the hell we were at some point yesterday, about adding a running back into the mix. And,
it was on the air, yep.
And kind of changing things up a little bit. I do think the Chiefs are probably going to have to try to start counteracting. If they're only going to rush 4 and drop 7 back and make life difficult for Patrick Mahomes from that standpoint, you're going to have a running back now to kind of change things up a little bit and make things a little bit different than what teams now seemingly think is the way to beat Kansas City.
I mean, yeah, we talked about the offense yesterday. You guys started with bringing up the offensive line, kind of needed retooling. At least 2 new offensive linemen are going to be needed, possibly 3. You mentioned running back, and then we kind of got into another weapon's going to be needed too, at least a wide receiver, maybe a tight end behind Kelsey to help Noah Gray out. That's kind of a whole rehaul on offense, pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, it's coach, it's a starting tight end, it's a couple of receivers and a quarterback, but you need everything else, it seems like. It's a lot.
It is. No, it is. I think there's going to be a bigger revamping than we think, and we'll go through the free agent list kind of as the morning goes along. And I did see a quote from Brett yesterday that said something to the effect of, our free agency this year is the draft, and we just don't have the money to go out and spend now. And coming off a Super Bowl loss, you probably do dial it back a little bit. You went all in to do the 3-peat. Had you won 3 in a row, you'd be all in to do the 4-peat. But I think you're probably going to take, and I say a step back from a money standpoint, free agency standpoint, and which is fine because the Chiefs have nailed the draft, right? Like ESPN has their power rankings for next year out already. The Chiefs are number 1, and it says this draft is important or make this draft count or something like that. I'm like, they've made every draft count now with Brett Veach. And so if they have to retool and restock via the draft, that's fine. They've done a great job doing that. I have no issue with that.
Yeah, I mean, you go back to the blueprint and you talk about what the blueprint to be the Chiefs is. You have to have a solid front 4 that can create the pressure without the blitz. Mm-hmm. And then you have the 7 that sit back. They double team Travis Kelce, and then they spy somebody on Patrick Mahomes or whatever they do. And the problem is that when that happens, pressure comes. There's nobody open. Mahomes does his thing where he, I got to go improvise. The thing is that there's only been like a few teams that have had that recipe. Philadelphia had it. Tampa had it. Mm-hmm. Tennessee had it. And in that blowout loss that we had against Tennessee a couple years back, they had that great defensive front that Vrabel had kind of like built in Tennessee. I'm sure Mac knows about that defensive line. And Denver's kind of got it.
Yeah.
And Denver was a team this year that gave you a lot of trouble. And, like, that's kind of where the teams are that have that sort of, like, okay, if we could have a strong enough crew that can – now, granted, we know Philadelphia does because the joke for them was, like, the last 2 years they were just drafting Georgia's defensive players from college.
Smart.
That were winning all the national championships. Plus one fell to them due to, like, off-the-field issues. But that's here nor there. That Jalen Carter's a stud. They took a chance. And it worked. So that's kind of like where it's at. The thing that's on the Chiefs side where you say Andy Reid will adjust, it's not a lot of people have that recipe because that's a very tough recipe to have. To be able to hit it on 3 defensive linemen that can create that much pressure to where your 4th guy can be a valuable asset, and then you're able to just sit back and leave your weapons or leave the opponent's weapons covered by more than you possibly need. That's where you beat the Chiefs.
But also, too, you have to think to yourself, I mean, if that was the Willie Roaf offensive line and they were just rushing 4, which I don't think they would have done against that offensive line,
not if you're
Trent Green would have had all
Yeah.
day to throw the football back there. And so if you're only rushing 4 and you've got 5 offensive linemen, then you have an advantage in a situation like that, right? A lot of one-on-one type of stuff.
But
so
they also wouldn't have done that in Trent's day because you had Priest.
Right, exactly.
Which, again, they wouldn't do that if you had that sort of
so maybe running back needs to be, that playmaking running back probably needs to be one of the top kind of, priorities this offseason. But
the only reason I say that is because they have, and maybe we can talk about this a little bit later because we're out of time, but like they have that first pick in the 3rd round. That's a sweet spot for a running back.
Sure it is, yeah.
Right? You can find a guy that has that skill set that can be an elusive pass catcher and runner. And so yesterday when we were on the air in New Orleans or whatever, we were doing it at that station, I wasn't saying you draft a Bijan Robinson who went in the top 10 or a Gibbs who went in the top 10 or whatever, but you could find a guy that has that skill set, especially having that first pick in the third round. Go get a left tackle, either free agency or the draft as well. I would assume that if you want somebody that's solidified, you have to either trade or, free agent. And then you got Pacheco on a contract here. He's your punch. The other guy's your lightning. Kareem Hunt ain't coming back.
No.
So then you have that sort of thing. But
Yeah, so no, there's a lot of work, obviously, to be done. I'd love to see a trade for an offensive lineman because I think that's the way you can probably get the best possible offensive lineman out there. I even saw a mock draft yesterday that had the Chiefs trading out of 31 and getting picks yesterday.
Doesn't
And,
rewatch games, but he likes mock drafts.
I love the mock draft just to see what they say. It's fun to look and see what they say. I have no idea who the people are. No clue who the people are that they're drafting. I like to see where they are, what they say, and kind of the scenarios out there. But trading back out of number 31, like what are you going to get at number 31, right? Trade back, stockpile picks, and start loading up and building your offensive line or whatever that you decide to build in this upcoming draft.
Bob's mock draft would, since we do running back talk, I don't see how Ashton Genty doesn't fall to 31.
That's right. You should be right there. Yeah.
Ought to be available. Come on the other side. Another guy that'll be available is going nowhere, at least we think, because the owner said so. That's Bob Fescoe, Dusty Like and Mac Morey. You're listening to 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City Sports.
This Valentine's Day, fall in love with Hy-Vee. The classic dozen roses, just $19.99. Avoid the restaurant hassle and treat your Valentine to a home-cooked meal featuring bacon-wrapped filet, salad, bakery fresh baguette, twice-baked potatoes, vegetable, and dessert for just $35 a couple. Top it off with your favorite bottle of wine or spirits from Hy-Vee's wide selection. One stop makes this Valentine's Day the sweetest ever, only at Hy-Vee.
I love Hy-Vee for so many different reasons, but one of the things I love most about Hy-Vee is their customer service. Everyone that works at Hy-Vee is awesome. And you know what else I love about Hy-Vee? I don't have to sacrifice quality and service to get low prices. Hy-Vee just dropped the price on thousands of items in every aisle, in every department, on items I buy every day, both in-store and online. Hy-Vee even match prices with the nation's biggest discount stores. So check out Hy-Vee today and get those low prices only at Hy-Vee.
Hey guys, it's Dusty Likens of 96.5 The Fan. Let me tell you about my friends over at GiveMeTheVin.com. They want to buy your car, whether it's your daily driver, pickup truck, SUV, minivan, supercar, or an exotic. GiveMeTheVin.com wants you to say goodbye to dealing with the dealerships and private sale tire kickers and get a true buy offer for your car. GiveMeTheVin.com puts your car right on the money, providing you with a hassle-free online option to sell your car for more. It's as simple as going to GiveMeTheVin.com and entering your car's VIN number or license plate number. You'll get an offer on your car in minutes that is always well above any dealer quote and is guaranteed to beat your written CarMax offer, or they'll send you a check for $100. You can go to one of our offices locations, or they'll come to you. It's easy and it's fast. In fact, it's so easy, you can do it in your underwear. Literally. GiveMeTheVin.com is America's best car buyer.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million+ products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, weekend warriors, how's a little trail therapy sound right now? Hop in. Let's go for a ride in the all-new Nissan Armada Pro 4X. Tune out all those work emails and turn up that twin-turbo V6 engine. Instead of letting the kids play online, show them some epic inclines. Turn your 8-person family dinner into an exhilarating off-road adventure. The all-new Nissan Armada is here. Intelligent four-wheel drive cannot prevent collisions or provide enhanced traction in all conditions. Always monitor traffic and weather conditions.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So, then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Listen, you've been making house payments for years, right? And right now your home's value has never been higher, right? That means you're likely sitting on a small fortune in equity. And good for you. That's cash you could use to help secure your retirement, solve all your financial burdens, enable you to travel everything you want. The catch is, you're not ready to move. No problem. You don't have to with TrueHold. Sell and stay leaseback program. It's a genius financial strategy. You sell your home to TrueHold while its value is high. You bag all the equity in cash now, and you can stay as long as you like with an easy, affordable lease. And TrueHold pays property taxes, insurance, and maintenance. TrueHold unlocks your wealth without uprooting your life. Get a TrueHold offer now while your home's value is sky high. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit TrueHold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out without moving out. TrueHold.com.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. Here's traffic brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
A two-car crash, northbound lanes of 69 Highway right at 135th Street. That's got the left lane closed. And stalled cars at the 435 and 70 exchange, slowing things down, particularly in the direction of eastbound 70. I'm Lori Pearson, 96.5, The Fan Traffic.
Wonderful time to be alive. Great slate of college basketball tonight, 8-9. Great slate of college basketball. Kentucky-Tennessee rivalry game. You get it at 6 p.m.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm so excited.
6 p.m., man.
I told you guys, the next sporting event I watch is a Grapefruit League game from Florida next week. Can't wait, baby! Spring training baseball!
Kansas, Colorado.
I do love me some spring training baseball. I'm not going to lie. If it's on MLB Network or wherever, I am tuned into that. The sound of birds chirping, the view of sun, the crack of the bat. God, spring's going to get here soon. But first, we have a foot of snow on the way.
Mm-hmm. Yay. Monitor that and make sure,
It may dissipate as the day goes on. We just don't know.
Definitely
so we'll
monitor
see.
it and get yourself in position. Sleep in your damn car up here. They say. Yeah, I can't believe you guys aren't excited for tonight. I mean, you get Purdue, Michigan at 6. Florida, Mississippi at 6. That's a 322 matchup.
Whew!
Arizona at K-State,
Emaw, baby. Feeling it.
3.5-point dogs at home, coming off a huge home win against the Jayhawks. Check that. Gigantic win. Arugula.
Thank you, Jim.
Yeah.
Did you see him at the Super Bowl at all?
Ema. No, if I did, I would have freaked out.
I mean, I didn't see Rome at all at the Super Bowl. Was he on the row? I didn't see him.
Alabama, Texas. I mean, come on. So many games to bet on, Mac.
I know. I don't think my fiance, my first night back, and her first
They
night
said
here with me
mad
is
about
gonna...
being married.
Yeah. I don't think she's going to want to sit down and watch you bet Tennessee basketball this weekend. No, you got to start taking her out and showing her. It's like, how was it? She's finally here.
She's here.
That's big news, I think.
Yes.
That your fiance's here. Text line, what are the things she needs to do now that she's a Kansas Cityan, right? Tell her what she needs to do so she doesn't feel like she's left out of Kansas City. So you can text that in. Mac will take notes. And
she loves patios, rooftops, wine.
It's perfect weather coming up for this. Yeah,
Yes,
all that stuff you just named. Patios, weather, wine, cheese. Like, that's perfect. Take her to Maloney's. He's got the biggest deck in town.
You know Maloney's is happening.
I mean, have you seen how big his deck is?
Yes,
it's huge. Biggest deck I've ever seen, man.
Very impressive. Yeah.
Well endowed.
Okay.
The deck.
Oh.
Yeah, it is. It's a well-endowed deck.
Yes,
yeah.
that's all it is.
I mean, everybody loves a big deck. I love big decks, and I cannot lie. Did she enjoy the week without you here? Like she literally moved here on Saturday.
and
We
then
left on Sunday for the Super Bowl.
See ya.
Welcome to town. You don't know anybody. Here's a phone number of my mom if you need something. Like, how was her week without you here?
It was good. Yeah, she hung out with my mom and her friends a couple of times. She hung out with some of my friends.
Did she hang out with that friend of your mom that I liked meeting?
I actually believe she did. Yes, your favorite.
That's right.
Watched the Super Bowl with some of my buds, and they all made her feel at home, and they helped her move into the place. And so I feel like it was actually kind of good for her. Come Thursday, Friday, she was like, okay, now I'm ready for you to be back.
Right. But it was good you got out of all that, too.
Exactly.
So very good.
Yes, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys play like Truth or Dare on the phone when you were away?
Oh, nothing like that. You in the next room over, you got to be.
Did you have those conversations? I think I talked to my wife on the phone maybe twice when we were gone. Didn't speak to the children. Got home. The dog was real excited. The kids still don't think they know I'm home. That's the difference between life, marriage, and new love, as they like to say. Right?
That's awesome. Yeah, FaceTimed every day, of course.
Of course.
Yes.
I tried to FaceTime Joey Chestnut and Jay Binkley, but he doesn't have an iPhone.
I FaceTimed a guy named Hot Rod.
We will get into, the Hot Rod story. Like, Dusty's reminding me things at the airport that happened Friday night. I'm like, he's remember Hot Rod? I'm like, who?
Who's
and
that?
then I was like, oh my God, I totally forgot about that guy.
Yeah, he's a swinger. Wears gold jackets and tells us how long he can perform.
And
what the secret ingredient is coming
cow.
up later.
It was unbelievable. One of the most unbelievable. Like, I told you we had a lot to unpack.
Excuse me, sir. Would you like to do a radio hit in Kansas City in the future? Yes, I would, if you don't mind. Yeah, and what's the name I can put in my phone for you? Hot Rod.
Hot Rod.
I need you to repeat that again for me, sir. I've had quite a few drinks today. I believe you said your name was Hot Rod.
Right.
Yes, sir.
And it wasn't like Hot Rod Williams who played in the NBA. This was like some 65-year-old old dude from Mississippi.
Yeah, this guy has skipped fentanyl and gone somewhere else. I don't know what he was on.
Hot Rod. Get him on the phone. Seriously, tomorrow we're calling Hot Rod.
Guy's got a cigarette boat and a year-long tan. Had a freaking gold jacket on.
It was a jacket or a shirt?
It's like a blazer.
You're
the one that brought him over. You're like, hey man, sweet jacket. And he's like, it's a blazer. You want to know where I got it? We're like,
sure.
All right. This guy's great. What's your name? Hot Rod.
Yeah. Was he a builder too?
I don't know.
Everybody said they were a builder this weekend. What do you do? I'm a builder. Oh, okay. Well, I met more builders in New Orleans than I think I've ever met in my entire life.
This is a great text for Mac and his fiance. You need to take her over to Herman, Missouri.
Great spot to go to. Yeah, that's a good weekend trip. Yeah,
a Yermantown in southern Missouri.
Mm-hmm. Get out there.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's great. No,
okay,
it's
new for me too.
Oktoberfest.
That'd be new for me.
It's real close to St. Louis compared to here. You take the train over to Herman, spend the weekend over there, drink some really bad wine, but Herman is great. Yeah,
cool. It's not that terrible.
Oh, it's awful. Missouri and Kansas wine is terrible. It's awful.
Well, it's not like I've been to Spain or anything.
Yeah.
So yeah,
no,
probably be
it's
pretty
like
decent.
it's not.
Really?
You've had American wine before. It's nothing like that.
Okay.
It's ass. There's no other way to put it. It is terrible. Ask Diane. She'll tell you how terrible it is, too. I mean, you drink it, you're like, oh, my God, was this made with grapes that people stepped on with dirty feet? Like, it's, it's just, ugh. But Herman's a great place. The wine, you can get other cocktails, obviously, but, Herman's fun, yeah.
Just go to Herman and have an open mind.
Okay.
Stop letting him.
The wine is terrible. I have an opinion on it. The Chiefs played terrible. The wine was terrible. If it was good, I tell you it was good, but it's not good wine.
What's worse, the way the Chiefs played on Sunday or the wine?
The way the Chiefs played on Sunday, because that wasn't expected.
That's fair. You know the Herman wine sucks.
You know going in, it's going to be blah,
Yeah. You could also take her to Eureka Springs. It's in Arkansas. It's a fun town.
I've heard great things about that place.
Okay.
Nobody said anything here, though.
Yeah, no, nothing here.
We've got Herman and Eureka Springs.
Like, all right, guys,
people said stuff here, but they're all stuff I already know that she's done.
Oh, okay.
People were like, she had barbecue?
Yeah, it's the first text I see.
Is that really the first text?
Of course.
God.
Yep.
That's why I don't bring that up.
She's got to have the barbecue.
Yeah, really?
Thanks, Chet. Appreciate it.
Take her to Gates so she can get yelled at.
Yes.
Take her to a Royals Bills game next
Where
week.
you should go in the wintertime,
She would
though,
love that. She liked baseball.
Where you should go in the wintertime, and you're going to know that I'm going to say this, and then we'll get back into sports. Where you should go in the wintertime before you can get to patios and cool places, take her to Green Lady Lounge.
Yes, we did talk about that. Okay.
Take her to Green Lady Lounge, order the sidecar, and just relax. And great place.
Love it.
All right. So, Travis Kelce. Yesterday, and of course, like a Super Bowl loss, this sort of stuff happens all the time. And before the game, and like this kind of all year, people have had their opinions. We've all had ours about if he retires or if he stays.
Mm-hmm.
And I firmly believed, I had two takes that I never really went anywhere else from. If they won the game against Philadelphia, I think he would have ended it. I still believe that. I know that Clark Hunt said otherwise, and I'll play that audio. And I thought that if they lost, he would come back. And
that's what I would have done personally.
Right.
Is that what you would have done personally?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I just take things that I see and I try to give the best case scenario from what I can see and try to make it believable on a microphone. Because I look at a guy who's slowing down, not washed by any means, but slowing down from what he was, which was greatness of all time, to now he's good. Now, not a great Super Bowl, not a great AFC Championship game, and was taken out of those scenarios. So, again, that would let me know that, like, those back-to-back games and those big moments haven't really seen from Travis Kelce in a while, which would let me know that obviously he's not where he was, and next year he still will be another peg down. But this was what Clark Hunt said when we were on Super Bowl Row, or Radio Row.
Travis coming back for another year? I certainly think so. I think he's enjoying playing the game. He's clearly one of the greatest tight ends of all time at this point, but I think he loves what he's doing.
So it makes sense, but it's not really solidified into the fact where I'm like, that's the owner 100% knows. I surely think so, and he's having fun doing what he's doing. So putting that into, perspective and then seeing the result of that game. Now, if they go into that game and it goes into, overtime and Mahomes hits Kelce for a touchdown, game winner, spike the ball.
Oh, you got to walk, right?
You're out.
You're out.
You got the girl, you got the post-career, you have the podcast, which is part of that post-career, and the legacy and everything is done. Goodbye. Now, you've got kind of where we're into this year, where now at 100%, I think, makes sense that this is it. Because Travis Kelce's career has completely gone, from one person to the other. Like, Travis Kelce has basically two different careers. He had the young, hothead, productive career. Then he had the, more mature, locked in, solidified number one tight end of all time career.
Mm-hmm.
And that, to me, and where he's come and where he's gotten to, kind of deserves that swan song type of year. It is the last year on his contract. It is a perfect way to go out no matter what. You don't have the binder of, well, if they win, he could walk away. If he loses, he comes back. This is like, well, he doesn't have any more years left on his contract. He probably doesn't want to come back and go to any other team but Kansas City. And now he's got, maybe if he does, his relationship does last even longer and it gets more serious and he gets more opportunities outside of football. This is where I believe he will come back for just one more year, because now there are reports saying that there's a good chance that maybe that was his last game. But I don't think that a guy like him, even his brother didn't go out after losing the Super Bowl. His brother went out the very next year.
The next year. You don't want to go out with that bad taste in your mouth, right? And it looked like his outfit that night was from Paul Rudd's closet on Anchorman, right? Like, that was an awesome outfit. There was an article yesterday, and Jen's like to me, she goes, Travis Kelce didn't speak after the game? I go, no, he did. I stood right there while he spoke after the game. People were ripping him in the media because he didn't go to the podium. I said, that dude spoke in front of his locker and was a stand-up dude. Stop bashing that kind of stuff in the media. Anybody who's saying that is a liar.
And he owned up to the loss.
And he owned up to everything. Like, he was as good as anybody could have been in the locker room after a game, like that magnitude. But I did see some stuff yesterday, and I was on with our friends in Washington, D.C. Yesterday as we were headed to the airport. They were like, Travis Kelce being done and washed and all this kind of stuff. About 4 years ago, Dick Vermeil had one of the most important lines that I learned as a talk show host in this industry. And he goes, there's 11 other guys that are paid to kick your ass. And that was one of those big kind of like eye-opening moments for me, because in my early 20s, it was like, you're not winning because you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. Meanwhile, you're not giving credit to the other team who counteracts all of that. And so when people say that, Travis Kelce is washed, how about Philadelphia just had a great game plan, and Buffalo just had a great game plan for Travis Kelce. They knew he was the number one guy that they had to take away. That's Patrick Mahomes' security blanket out there. So they were going to do everything they possibly could to take Travis Kelce away. Is he a step slower? Well, hell yes, he's a step slower. He's 35 years old. We all know as you get older, you become a step slower. But he still had 97 catches in the regular season for 823 yards. Almost 9 yards a catch. That's not a man who's washed or slowed down or anything like that. That's just a guy who's kind of in the twilight of his career. And so instead of sitting there saying, Travis is washed, it's the easy thing to do, it's hard to view it from the other angle and say these other teams just put together a great game plan to go out and stop Travis Kelce. And that happens sometimes. Like, sometimes you just have to tip your cap to the opposition. Vic Fangio was phenomenal in that game as a defensive coordinator.
Yeah, Kelce had 2 drops in the Super Bowl.
He did. No, he did.
There were more uncharacteristic things kind of down the stretch. Like, obviously, the game against Houston, it was nuts.
Yeah,
like,
it was crazy.
They just gave him. I don't know what that was. They just were like, you can have your game. But Buffalo, not really there. And then obviously, God. And then, still slap happy, and then the Super Bowl just wasn't a great game. But
no, it was. But the drops, yes. Bad throws by Mahomes, yes. I think if you go back and you start to really look at this game and start to think about it, they wanted that three-peat so bad. Maybe they did play a little outside themselves. I don't know what the answer is, but I don't think Travis Kelce should walk away. I wouldn't walk away. You go out one more year and you play this thing out. But if he decides to walk away at the end because he's like, all right, I am done, then fine. We saw a great career here in Kansas City.
I don't understand this text. So Dusty said that Chiefs lost on purpose so Kelce would come back.
What? Who the hell said that?
Totally what you said, man.
Who in the hell? Are you out of your? How stupid are you to even interpret that? Nobody's losing up. Give me a Super Bowl championship or one more year of Travis Kelce. Gee, let's go lose the Super Bowl when we're ready to three-peat so we can get one more year of Travis Kelce. Even the fact that you interpreted that Dusty said, that means you're nuts.
I wish I went to the Lakers game last night. Everybody got Luka Doncic shirts. Every fan. Ugh. Get ready. They're coming, baby. Lakers, NBA champions. Go ahead and put it in DraftKings, future bet. So apparently Max sat next to a Broncos beat writer.
Oh, yeah.
And
this guy.
And the door is open for everyone. Is that
what this guy was telling you at the game?
Oh, yeah, he wasn't telling me. He was
So Max sat in a different press box, so he was closer.
He didn't spill coffee over poor Matt Derrick like I did.
Shoot, that might have reached Sam McDowell's head, and he was at the very end.
I'm so sorry still to Matt Derrick for doing that. Just a genuinely nice human being, sweet, and I just spilled the whole cup of coffee. He's like, that's okay, don't worry about it. Had it been somebody else, they would have screamed and yelled.
What the hell, man?
Yeah.
Reporting on the biggest game of the year.
You're spilling coffee.
One of the greatest moments of my radio career is watching this happen because, first off, I'm just going to tell you the honest truth. Matt Derrick has lost a ton of weight and looks great. And Bob spent 20 minutes just giving him his flowers and hyping this man up.
Hell yeah.
But I know how it is to lose weight. So when I see somebody do that, I love it.
Again, it's nothing bad. So then we go over to the Chiefs Radio Network to do a hit for their pregame show. And I take a coffee. And one guy's like, what the hell you have that for? I'm like, dude, I'm beat. I've been here for 7 days. It's rough. And so then Bob's like, coffee sounds like a good idea. So then Bob goes and gets coffee, piping hot, no cream, whatever. We go back to the spot in the booth,
and it's a tight fit. First of all,
very tight. Very tight.
We had a guy dancing next to us.
That's right at halftime. Kendrick was hitting, and then Bob literally dumps coffee. 10 seconds later, all over. I used Matt Derrick's binoculars an hour and a half later, and all I could smell was coffee. So
I spilled all this coffee, cleaned it all up. I'm so sorry. The whole 9 yards.
Got trail mix, and he spilled the trail mix all over everything. And I was like, dude, you gotta go.
Get out of here, man.
I mean, it was so tight. So you were sitting in a different area.
So, but your area, but to give that perspective, like your area was as tight as ours, like in everybody's like shoulder to shoulder watching the game.
Yeah, they called it auxiliary press, basically a makeshift table that they put in the stands in the stadium with everyone else, put some plug-ins, some outlets, and it's sardines, and we're all packed in there, right?
So
it's me sitting next to this Denver guy, and I'm kind of just like eyeing him, like
checking him out, huh?
Look at you. Oh, yeah, the whole time. He's putting together his article, which he had written in the second quarter.
Which is amazing because most of the media, I would say 90% on their laptops, all they were doing was looking at X. So at least this guy was working.
Oh, and he's doing Twitter the whole time. Twitter feuds. He's doing his battles of his commenters that are hating against him. But his whole angle, this Denver Broncos guy, who I'll leave unnamed, this opens the door for the rest of the AFC West, especially the Denver Broncos, because not only have the Eagles given the blueprint, if you look at what happened the last time the Chiefs lost the Super Bowl, it took them a long time, is what he said in his article, that to course correct, to re-find their place of dominance in the league. So this now leaves room for the Broncos and the Chargers and even the Raiders to have a chance.
They were in the AFC Championship game the following year and then went to 3 straight Super Bowls after that. Like, if that's a course correct... Wow, that's a guy who just doesn't know.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, and he's using the Denver Broncos Super Bowl blowout as ammunition as well. Look what happened here, and it doesn't relate. It doesn't compute. It's irrelevant. It doesn't matter. I don't care what old Peyton Manning and that Denver Broncos team
and
did.
Peyton Manning was at the end of his career. Patrick Mahomes is 29 years old, and this thing is still moving forward as a dynasty, right? So go ahead.
No, I just think I just thought that was funny looking at the other perspective of the other teams in the AFC West going, oh, this is going to be a regular thing now. This is what's happening. The Chiefs are done. And I think that's just an added piece of motivation for this team.
Love it. Keep saying the Chiefs are done.
Yep.
Keep saying they're not going to be back. Keep saying they're washed and the thing is over because they're just going to use that as more fire. I wouldn't be shocked. I mean, maybe a little bit shocked, but if Patrick Mahomes was back working yesterday when they arrived back into town, like, all right, how are we fixing this thing? Because I've never seen anybody as competitive as Patrick Mahomes. Now, I know they're taking time off. I'm not a fool.
That man's on a golf course, I guarantee
he should be. But who knows? I mean, if somebody told you that Mahomes was back in the facility yesterday when they got back trying to fix things, would it shock you? No, probably not. No, probably not, right? You'd be like, whoa, really? And then you'd be like, oh, my God, they're ready to go for next year, right?
Coming up on the other side, we'll get to our Tough Tuesdays. I've got a few. I'm sure you do as well. 913-586-7965. Tough Tuesdays here on Fescoe and Dusty on the other side here. 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City Sports.
I'll tell you what, my friends over at Golden Oak Lending can help you out. They want to help you reach your financial goals, but they don't know what your financial goals are. That's why they listen. When you call Golden Oak Lending and take their free mortgage checkup, they're going to listen to you about your financial goals, and you can tell them what you want to accomplish. Maybe you've got to take some cash out for a wedding. Maybe you've got some college tuition. Maybe you've got, some credit card debt that you want to pay off. You're getting a new basement put in. Whatever it is, Golden Oak can help you reach your financial goals. You got to take that free mortgage checkup with Golden Oak Lending. That's when they listen to you. And when you take that free mortgage checkup, it's risk-free. There's no paperwork. There's no credit card required. All you got to do is call 913-890-GOLD and say, hey, I want to take that free mortgage checkup. Then, if you get a great new rate from Golden Oak Lending that's better than what you're in right now, you can skip 2 months of making that mortgage payment. And at this time of year, or any time of year, 2 months without having to make a mortgage payment sounds awesome. Plus, the average cash-out customer saves $1,104 per month. So call Golden Oak now, 913-890-GOLD. Take that free mortgage checkup. Tell them where you want to go with your financial life, and they can help you get there. 913-890-GOLD. Let Golden Oak Lending cure your blues.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-469-1635. 800-469-1635. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-469-1635.
Well, if you're looking for something fun to do with the winter weather coming, the indoors is perfect for being, the weather, I should say, is perfect for being indoors. And foaling is the perfect activity for everybody. Probably going to have a couple of days off of school. We got the President's Day holiday coming up this weekend. You're looking for something fun, something athletic, something cool to do with the kids, something fun, something cool to do with your guy friends, your girlfriends. It doesn't matter with who. Foaling is the answer to all of your what are we going to do today questions because it's perfect for everyone. Foaling is football plus bowling plus bar, and that's Foaling Warehouse, Kansas City. You're going to set up bowling pins just like you're going to bowl, but instead of rolling that ball down the lane, you're throwing that football and you're knocking those pins down. First one to knock them all down wins, and you become the champion, and you get bragging rights right there in front of everybody. It's a mashup of football and bowling, drinks, and fun. And when I say drinks, I'm talking about a world-class bar, great cocktails, and an unbelievable beer selection as well. Foaling is located at 435 and State Line, and it's perfect for parties because they let you cater your own event. Reserve a lane now at FoalingKC.com. That's FoalingKC.com, and get your foal on.
My friends swim no matter the season, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. Now, thanks to Skyrizi and clear skin, count me in. With Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So, then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Jewelrygram, it's your friends at Shane Company here to remind you that Valentine's Day is Friday, February 14th. We have just the right gift for your sweetheart, like heart-shaped necklaces, birthstones, or diamond studs. Getting engaged? Create a dream ring and choose from natural rubies, colorful sapphires, and natural and lab-grown diamonds in all shapes and sizes. At Shane Company, love is always in the air with our unmatched free lifetime warranty and everyday competitive prices. Come visit us in-store and at shaneco.com. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Watched by the National Pheasant Fest and Quail Classic at the KC Convention Center March 7th through 9th. Missouri side 70 westbound slows past Van Brunt, stays heavy over towards 27th Street. 71 northbound slow between 75th and Gregory. Pheasants Forever National Pheasant Fest and Quail Classic is coming to the Kansas City Convention Center this March 7 through 9. Join us for puppy and dog training seminars, of youth village for kids, and more than 400 unique exhibitors. More information at pheasantfest.org. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan. Traffic.
Boy, Would you rather see Bob Fescoe at a pheasant fest and quail hunting exhibit, or like an EDM concert?
Pheasant fest.
I think I'd rather see him at the EDM place.
Like, have you ever gone hunting?
No.
Do you think you ever would?
Nope.
Okay.
Not my thing.
I mean, I've never gone,
Yeah.
but I know why I can't go. Like, if you're around me enough, you would understand why I can't go hunting. Like, I would sneeze or I would say something and ruin it for everybody. I'm also not into killing the animal. I guess call me weak, but like, I don't want to go through all that.
Yeah, no, it's not my thing. Yeah.
But I definitely would go, but I would not partake in the act. But I would definitely like go, like hang out in a tree stand, eat like biscuits and gravy from like a hot like thermos.
Those dudes like sit up there for days in these tree stands waiting for the right deer to walk by or whatever you're hunting for.
I follow a guy who does it. I'm like mesmerized. Like he's really good at it. And like their video and stuff is fantastic. Mike Hunsucker is his name, and he does a lot of good stuff with it.
Like my friend would go out in Colorado and like do like an elk hunt or something, right? And you get like one tag. That means you can kill one or whatever it is, right? And then you'd be out there for like a week, and you may not even see an elk at that point in time.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I feel like if Bob and I went hunting, it would look very similar to when Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson do it in Wedding Crashers.
Correct.
I don't even know what a quail is. And then one of us gets shot in the ass. We're ass brothers.
No, it's not my thing. You know, I'll go fishing and do that kind of stuff because you can drink when you're fishing, right? Like you're up there at a deer stand and a deer blind with a gun. I'm not.
You drink the night before.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like during the act of it. Like I'd rather sit on a boat, have a couple of beers and fish, or sit by a pool.
Big advantage with fishing in the summer is it's warm.
Yeah,
like deer hunt. There's
people
some
go
guys,
up there in the cold. Yeah,
there's some guys. They are like Andy Reid type of guys when it comes to hunting.
Oh, my dad was serious about it growing up. Oh,
What did he go hunting for?
Deer.
Just
only did it 3 times. I did deer stand twice.
Did you ever get anything?
No. But it was fun. I liked it.
What was fun about it if you didn't get anything? Like that seems like the fun of it.
It's the cat. It's the hunt.
Is it the hunt? Like standing there and just waiting though? You're just like waiting for this thing to walk by and then blast it in the face. You know?
Well, you don't blast in the face because you want to keep the head.
Yeah. Oh. Where do you shoot it? Right in the back of the neck or something?
Right in the chest.
Right in the chest?
Yeah, you get it right in that like lung spot.
So you got to hit your spot, right?
Oh, dude, that's what makes it fun to watch on those videos. Like they'll have like the dart like showing you.
Like how good they are at doing that.
And you want it to be quick too.
Well, yes, of course.
You'd like it to,
Right, you don't want it to suffer.
Possible, yes.
Yeah.
Look at us. Tell you what, boy.
I'll tell you what.
You get out there, you get it in your eyes, and you see that thing, and you know
sure.
it's yours. You're soaked in its own piss. You know.
You think Binkley's ever hunted?
No. Not a chance.
You think Alex Gold has ever fished?
No. You know why Binkley's never hunted? Because hunting that like the season that they love, right smack dab in the middle of football.
Middle of football season.
Right in the guts of football.
Yeah, no chance he's getting up there.
What was the guy that we had at quarterback?
Brody Croy.
Yeah,
that's why he bought our house, because we were so close to the deer hunting.
It was like throw footballs in the fall and winter or go kill.
Yeah.
Option there.
But you got Tuesdays off days, Binkley. You can go out there and shoot something on a Tuesday.
Let me tell you something about deer, Bob. They actually run a 4.1 12-kilometer 40.
Binkley?
They can cut on a dime.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's get into a tough Tuesday here. I got a few here on a tough Tuesday. Number one, I'm going to go with DeAndre Hopkins for a tough Tuesday to start because I don't like this.
You know, I saw a lot of things in the media about the refs, but obviously what y'all going to say now about the refs and us when there was a lot of touchy calls?
DeAndre.
Are y'all going to report that? Are y'all going to talk about the refs now?
Come on now.
Just let it
Come
go,
on now.
man. Let it
Can't
go.
be that guy.
You dropped the wide open pass, bro.
And
Like,
say,
seriously.
if we give fan bases and we give people credit and, you know, knock them down a peg for when they use these things. Can't
do it. Come on, DeAndre.
Gotta leave
That's weak ass.
Gotta leave that one in the holster.
That's a weak ass excuse, man.
You know, you had a big drop. It's a tough Tuesday for all of us in Chiefs Kingdom. I don't mean that facetiously. It's just, boy, that one sucks.
Yeah.
Like when you get beat like that and you get punched in the face, and it's like, I mean, I don't know if you've ever been there. Like, I haven't, surprisingly. But like when your boyfriend's the one that gets knocked out in the fight and you had to watch it, like, That's kind of what you just saw. You're like, damn, like I thought he was going to be better than that. Thought he was going to actually hold his own. No, he got knocked out. That one sucks. And then it's a tough Tuesday for any sort of stuffed Kermit the Frog, apparently. In the streets of New Orleans, Eagles fans went out of their way to burn a stuffed Kermit. So tough day to be a Kermit the Frog.
Yeah,
in Bourbon Street.
Screw them. And really, like I told my dad last night, I hope the city floats down the Delaware River. And he goes, yeah, out into the bay. I'm like, exactly, with the way that they're deplorable fans. They really are. I mean, the more that you see coming out of Philadelphia, the more you realize what a deplorable fan base. And no wonder the rest of America doesn't like it. So tough Tuesdays for me go to the Philadelphia fan base, because this is now the same fan base. You booed Santa and you booed Taylor Swift. What kind of people are booing Taylor Swift and Santa Claus? And then your own players and stuff of that nature. And, you know, the booing of Taylor Swift, pretty pathetic, really, quite honestly, like really, really pathetic. You're talking about one of the greatest humans on earth. And I'm not saying that because she's in Kansas City or whatever. What she does behind the scenes for so many people, she's an amazing human being, better than any Philadelphia fan could ever be. And the fact that they booed her, that's weak. But really, for me, the only tough Tuesday, because I think you covered a lot of them, Philadelphia light poles, because they were all taken down yesterday in Philadelphia. People climbing up the light poles, ripping them down. Everybody saying stay off the light poles. The more they said it, the more of them that came down. So the entire city of Philadelphia, the people who have to fix all that too, the public works people in Philadelphia that have to go back and fix all this
they
stuff
were riding
now,
horses through the streets.
I mean, you know, but
it's the Wild West Philly.
Just go celebrate your win, man. Just go celebrate your win and don't destroy the city and create work for everybody else. So I'm just so over the Philadelphia fan, and I think most of America is now. They're now the perfect villain. You want a villain in the NFL? It's those AHs out there in Philadelphia.
Who's the guy that rock? He was just talking to me.
Jake, yeah.
Yeah, he was telling me his son lives in Orlando because he goes to UCF. So he went to Orlando for the parade yesterday. He said it was swamped green, and they just nonstop were chanting the Eagles chant.
Oh, you mean for the Super Bowl MVP parade? Oh, that's kind of cool. Yeah,
he said he went there, and it was just Philly fans still chanting the same thing: Eagles, 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 wherever, and Go Birds. And
we heard him at the airport yesterday. Some guy did try to get an Eagles chant going, and nobody responded because everybody was having a tough Monday at that point, right? Yeah. People just wanted to get out of there.
Dude, we got it. Your chant, Lord.
Well, we got to kind of view each fan in New Orleans from a neutral perspective because a lot of the time we weren't in Chiefs gear, so we're in media, so we're literally no one knows who we are, so we're seeing both fans just act the way they are. Chase Kingdom was way more.
Thank God we were in our media clothes on the way
after
the game.
Oh, and I purposely didn't wear any Chiefs stuff after the game. When I got but when I yesterday morning. No, I'm talking on Monday. Yesterday, yesterday.
Yes, at the airport.
Yeah, I got up because I was staying in the Eagles team hotel, and so I got up and I put on like just a black shirt and gray pants, no hat, no nothing. Because I was walking to the station, and then I didn't want to be in the airport with that stuff on because I just don't trust Eagle fans. I really don't. I don't trust them to not do something stupid because that's what they always do is something stupid. And so they're the new villain now of the NFL, and they're the perfect villain because they all have punchable faces.
That's a tough Tuesday here on Fescoe and Dusty. Can't do that, DeAndre. Just can't do that. Just gotta let that one. Gotta let that one go. That's just a non-veteran night for Mr. Hopkins, unfortunately. Coming up on the other side, there are people that think that a certain individual for the Kansas City Chiefs needs to change. Well, he will be 30 next year, so we shall see. I'm Dusty Likens. This is Bob Fescoe, Mac Morey as well. This is 96.5 The Fan, and it is your home for Kansas City Sports.
Fescoe and Dusty.
I can feel it all the way down in my plums.
On Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan.
Well, I'll tell you what, you're looking outside now and you're thinking wintertime, but I'm thinking spring, and I'm thinking my lawn is going to look great this spring because of my friends over at Aspen Lawn and Pest Control. For a couple of years now, we've been battling our front lawn, trying to figure out how we can make our grass green after we took down those two big trees. Well, the roots are under there, they're sucking out all the water. I just can't get my grass right. And so Aspen Lawn and Tree is going to help me. I finally said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to trust the professionals. I'm going to trust people who went to college for this and let them take care of my lawn. And with Aspen Lawn and Pest Control, they get the job done right the first time. You see those iconic blue trucks out there, right? They're always parked in front of the best-looking lawns on the block. And they have award-winning services since 1985. They offer full-service lawn care, irrigation, and pest control. They're veteran-owned, and they've been serving KC, like I said, since 1985. They're the experts that I'm going to trust. Right now, you're going to get a free estimate and up to half off your first application when you mention you heard it here on 96.5 The Fan. So check them out now at aspenlawn.com. That's aspenlawn.com. It's Aspen Lawn and Pest Control.
Advent Health welcomes the KC Golf Show February 21st through 23rd at the Overland Park Convention Center. Test and buy big brands and enjoy new women's and kids programs Saturday at the show. Front door bonuses and tickets at kansascitygolfshow.com.
Booth Creek Wagyu, KC's premier Wagyu beef meat market, has even more convenient ways for you to shop. In addition to their location at 135th and Metcalf, they're now open at 95th and Knoll. Everyone deserves to elevate their beef. Whether you're looking to wow your family with a meal they'll never forget or impress your friends, neighbors, and coworkers, their Wagyu experts are ready to help you pick out something unforgettable. Booth Creek Wagyu, now with 2 locations, open 7 days a week, or at boothcreekwagyu.com.
Are you ready to start feeling your absolute best? I've got the perfect solution. Stretch Zone, your destination for practitioner-assisted stretching. Whether you're an athlete looking to enhance performance or someone seeking relief from the daily grind, Stretch Zone's personalized stretching sessions cater to all levels and lifestyles. Unleash your potential. Let Stretch Zone guide you to a healthier, more flexible you. 6 area locations. Book your session today at stretchzone.com. Stretch Zone. Stretch, work, play, repeat.
Hey, it's Gold telling you about Max Motors. I was just recently at one of their 7 locations. Between Kansas and Missouri, they've got 7 locations, including one that's just 7 minutes from the Grandview Triangle if you're going 192 miles an hour. That's, of course, the Max Motors Harrisonville location. That's where I got a chance to drive a couple new cars, test drive, and find out exactly what the buying process can be like. They make it so easy. They tell you about the total cost of ownership, not just what your monthly payment's going to be. Max Motors has the best financing options available with the max trade-in values in the Midwest. Max Motors, the easiest place to buy a car. MaxMotors.com.
Fabric Talk. Hello, my love. I am your living room carpet. I see everything. I feel everything. After a while, I smell like everything, including Sir Pickles, who you snuggle with while binging that dating show you can't stop watching. So, how about we freshen things up with Febreze Fabric Spray? Oh, and a big spray for my pals, couch and ottoman. Ah, yes, refreshing. Breathe happy, Febreze. La 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 la.
Friday is Valentine's Day, so if you still have shopping to do, then it's time to get to Macy's, because we make finding the perfect gift so easy. How easy? We have last-minute gifts that feel truly thoughtful, like fragrance gift sets from Yves Saint Laurent, Carolina Herrera, and Marc Jacobs, boxed and ready to give. Yeah, it doesn't get much easier than that. So head to Macy's and make their Valentine's Day a little more special and your life a little bit easier. But hurry in, because you're almost out of time. These deals end Friday at Macy's.
Today, expect cloudy skies with a slight chance of light snow, reaching a high of 31.
Weather brought to you by Robert Half. Robert Half's recruiting professionals use their award-winning AI to connect businesses with highly skilled talent. Learn more at roberthalf.com/talent today.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Missouri side, inbound I-70 starting to slow from Noland over past 40 Highway. Gets sluggish again from about 31st Street out past 27th with a stall now off to the right shoulder. Kansas side, 35 northbound, a brief slowdown past 75th Street. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
Wake up with Fescoe and Dusty. Weekdays starting at 6 on 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station.
Mac, just answer quickly. Have you ever seen Naked Gun movies?
No.
You know who Leslie Nielsen is?
No.
Probably if I saw the face, sounds familiar. But
The
no.
name sounds familiar.
He does know who he is. You do know who he is, and this is how I know you know who he is.
Okay.
I'm going to say this line. Surely you can't be serious. I am serious. No,
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So you do know who Leslie Nielsen is, because you
'Cause you
watched
watched Airplane.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
watched that over the holiday break. The
Okay,
winter break.
so you know who Leslie Nielsen is. It would have been his birthday today. He was born on February 11th, 1926. And Dusty says, he dead? I go, yeah, I think so. 2010, we lost Leslie.
It's been a minute.
About 15 years.
15 years. I'm like, Max 26. So, yeah, there's a good chance he probably doesn't know who Leslie Nielsen is.
So I want to know if this is true because I have yet to research this. I
Okay.
just thought
Then it's
about
true.
this. Yeah. No, I thought about this when we were flying out yesterday. Are there more mausoleums in New Orleans because they get flooding waters?
Yeah, that you can't bury
and
anybody.
the bodies will
Right.
come up.
That's
so
exactly
that's just,
right.
I didn't.
I told you that in the car ride when we were driving into New Orleans.
But I didn't. Okay, so then I did hear from somebody.
Yeah, I
So I was
said-
trying to figure out. I was like, there's a lot of mausoleums.
Yeah,
I don't
they
know what that
bury
is.
everybody above ground because they're technically below sea level. So if you can't dig, otherwise the bodies would float. So everybody's buried above ground in New Orleans.
It's a tough dude to figure that out first.
Yeah, seriously, man. You're like,
Hey.
wait, why is this happening?
Yeah, is there
like
a
who
problem?
the first person was to figure that out?
Is there
Yeah.
a problem in your backyard? Yes, it's massively flooded. But that's not the worst part. Okay, what is? About 4 bodies that are just decomposing back there, and I don't know where they came from.
How do you think they figured that out? Because those
That
mausoleums are like thousands of years old. I shouldn't say thousands, but like they did
might
that to the
be.
1800s, a couple hundred years old, right? So
that's probably how they found out.
right, they buried one person and this
Yeah.
dude like floated up.
Yeah,
I mean,
they're like,
there's
okay.
probably a backstory that Mac you could look up and go, oh yeah, look at that right there. But yeah, no, that's why, because
Mommy, there's a dead man outside my window.
I see
no,
dead
there's
people.
not. Just go to bed.
there's a body rising from the ground.
Lorraine, it's fine. Go
But
to
let me
bed.
ask this, and like you start digging into that, it's marsh. It's like, do you really think you're going to be able to dig deep enough to throw a body down there? I don't know.
Oof. Morbid. So you found an article that says Mahomes can't make bad plays worse, needs to learn how to throw it away.
Yeah, that was his quote after the game on Sunday.
Yeah.
He goes, I can't make bad plays worse. I need to learn how to throw the ball away. And it was funny because a lot of people are criticizing Patrick Mahomes on like the second or third drive for not taking a deep shot to Xavier Worthy, and he dumped it off. And I even said to you, I go, see, that's the veteran Mahomes right there. He's not going to try to take a shot that's not there. He's going to try to dump it off. And people were ripping Patrick Mahomes for that. And I'm not going to sit here and debate what Patrick Mahomes had to say, whether he's right or not. He does need to learn how to not make bad plays worse. But on the other hand, that's kind of his charm, right? That's kind of who he is. But you can still be Patrick Mahomes, but you can also still be a guy who makes some smarter decisions at times. And I do think in that game, it got away from him, right? You could see that game get away very early from Patrick Mahomes. And once it got away, it was like a snowball rolling down the hill. The worse it got, the further away they got from having the lead, the further away they got from gaining a yard. Patrick Mahomes tried to do all kinds of crazy stuff, and that led to a pick six and another interception early on in the game, which was pretty much all she wrote for that. And so I think there's a way to be aggressive and exciting and fun, but also a way to be smart, because I think that Super Bowl was more of what the Brett Favre style was that we heard Patrick Mahomes was about in that game than what we've normally seen from Patrick Mahomes.
So change, no. Evolve, yes. And
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's just kind of like the obvious. I know they're like very similar. They're like synonyms of, I don't know, they're basically the same thing. Yeah, like by evolving, you're changing, but you're not. Look, I don't want him to change his mindset on how he can attack. But what he's going to have to do is every time he loses, and it's in a significant way, that videotape is desired more than like the Watergate tapes, where like everybody wants their hands on to see what they can take out of it for the evidence that they know of what it is that's there that works. And so when you look at that from Philadelphia, for one, you have to have a freakishly good, talented defense. So like that's a lot of it.
Yes.
But like Mahomes, like the 2 interceptions he threw, not good at all. They were bad plays.
Terrible plays, yeah.
Like Cooper DeJean is too young to be able to do that to Patrick Mahomes in a Super Bowl.
I thought it was DeJean.
It was on the announcing. The guy called him DeJean in the press box.
Yikes. Come on.
Yeah. And so when those type of moments happen, now again, I think the other thing too, which is what happened in the Super Bowl, is when and we've only seen this a few times, when they get rattled like that and Mahomes starts to show that he's not immortal, the way that it like affects everybody is insane.
Yeah, it is.
Like that's another thing that like, and I know that it sucks to say that because I've been told my whole life because I lose my temper on the golf course or whatever it may be. And like, if I do that, like it can affect not only the rest of my day, but then it affects everybody else because they're like, every bad shot he hits, he's going to freak out. It's going to be awkward. So then everybody's kind of waiting for that. So it's kind of in that regard, like every time now this guy does, and when we see this, like then Andy gets rattled. He's like, "Oh no, I can't have this guy. This is my gun. This is my guy. I need to have my weapon perfectly fine." And when that happens, then it's like then the O-line starts to be like, "What's wrong with Pat?" Andy's starting to like, "How are we gonna like change to this?" They've got to figure out a way to evolve and not let that sort of thing happen. Understand that like they're better than what they're doing because they don't necessarily have to force it. And when we start to see the forcing of it, that's when it goes from 17, drop pass from DeAndre Hopkins. Mahomes is kind of trying to do things too much. DeAndre Hopkins tries to do things too much. Drop pass. You get a first down that play. You go down and score 17-7 at the end of the half.
You
get the
feel
ball
okay,
back.
get the ball back, score again.
Momentum.
It's 17-14, right?
And then everybody's going,
all right,
here we go.
Right.
And it's not that same vibe on the sideline where everybody's just standing there not talking, super pissed. And then, you know, the other thing that what comes with evolution of this game is that it's like, okay, now it's like I always use the analogy of a starting pitcher that used to be a fireballer, right? Verlander. Because I can throw 87, 88 now and not have you knowing what's coming.
Yeah, I think evolve is a good word to use, Dusty, in this because everybody has to evolve in whatever they do all the time. You're never going to change who you are at your heart, right? Who you are is who you are is who you are. But you can evolve and get better and work on things. But I also think sometimes, too, like that was a bad game. It was probably the worst, not probably, it was the worst game we've ever seen Patrick Mahomes play. Now he's had 300 games that have been just absolutely brilliant, right? And so you've got a situation where we're coming off a very bad taste in our mouth. You have a bad meal. You're never going back to that restaurant. You're getting online. You're filing complaints, which, by the way, Chiefs Kingdom and Taylor Swifties are attacking C.J. Gardner-Johnson's mother's restaurant on Google because of what he said over the weekend. So they're giving her bad reviews, and people are now mad about that. So
what did he say?
I don't know. He ripped Taylor Swift or something. Didn't he do something like
that?
He
posted Travis's old girlfriend.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, that's right.
Is he the other one that said we put the belt to the ass? Is that C.J. Gardner-Johnson as well?
I can't remember.
Yeah, there's.
That's right. Okay. Yeah.
Like,
well, I mean, people get mad about that kind of stuff. You talk smack. I mean, that's the thing. Like freedom of speech, consequences come with that. So
yeah, just don't do that. Because Adrian Peterson did it, and he got suspended.
He did for a long time. But I think you're right. I think evolving is where they need to go. And people have always said the league was going to catch up to Patrick Mahomes. Well, we're 8 years into this now. One team on one big stage found a way to stop Patrick Mahomes. It doesn't mean everybody else is going to be able to do it, but it also doesn't mean you just sit back and continue to do what you're doing. You do need to change things up. And that's why I'm excited for this offseason. I'm excited to see what they do and what players they add to change things up.
I feel like a bold take to make to Mahomes this offseason, and fellas, I mean this, I have a feeling he's coming back with a new haircut.
It may be time, right? Yeah,
because if you remember from Netflix when they did the quarterback, he said, I can't be 30 years old rocking this haircut. He just got his ass kicked, and he wasn't good.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to be 30 in September. Mahomes going to come in with a new haircut, and it's going to shock the sports world this summer. Mark my words. I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know if it's going to be like a fade or like a high whatever, but I think the Mahomes haircut's gone. I think we're going to see – I don't think it's going to be as revolutionary as when Kobe brought it home, and it was just like we went from fro Kobe to bald Kobe.
Right.
Like I don't know if it's going to be that drastic, but it's going to be something where that mohawky fro is like – he's like that was That was under 30, and this is,
What do you think he's going to do? Is he going to have a nice comb over business guy or mullet maybe?
No, because his old younger pictures, it was like basically a buzz cut.
Yeah.
Very short.
Very, very short, yeah.
But
I just don't know if he wants to keep that head and shoulders money. That's
but that's why he keeps a little bit of hair.
That brilliant point right there.
And bald men still wash their head.
That's true.
And their
That's
shoulders.
True.
It's not hair and shoulders. It's head and
shoulders. Good point by you.
Yes.
But if he doesn't have the hair, or Troy Polamalu doesn't have the hair, they don't have the commercial,
True. Troy Polamalu isn't Patrick Mahomes. And I think Patrick Mahomes could be bald and still sell a product for shampoo. But I think he's going to come back with just a different style of hair. I don't think he's going to go shave, but he's coming back with some new look. You watch. And then, God, I hope he just goes scorched earth.
He will. Next year's going to be fun.
So are we about to put money on him, Future's MVP?
Future MVP, Chiefs to win the Super Bowl,
Yes.
Andy Reid, Coach of the Year. Let's go.
I mean, I'm passing on the Coach of the Year because
Yeah, I know,
15-2 can't get it to you, man. I'm done,
Look
dude.
how they
Like,
rebounded from a tough Super Bowl loss, and they went 11-6, and they made it back to the AFC playoffs. Andy Reid's Coach of the Year.
We bring in Dayton Hughes one last time because that man, he needs to be given his flowers on what his outfit looked like on Super Bowl Sunday. That man was sharp. And Hot Rod, he's another man that looks sharp. That's Bob's new best friend. Maybe a new feature on this show. You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on 96.5 The Fan. Your home for the Kansas City Chiefs.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your new home for K-State Athletics. 96.5 The Fan.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you're waking up this morning with that cold weather, your back's hurting, your shoulders barking at you a little bit, and you're thinking, I can't stand the pain anymore. Well, I've got an answer for you. I'm talking about always there joint pain in your knees, hips, back, and shoulder. There's good news. QC Kinetics can help you. Groundbreaking treatments for arthritis pain. Long-term relief is now possible. At QC Kinetics, their regenerative treatments are sweeping the nation. Tens of thousands of QC Kinetic patients will tell you, don't wait, make the call today and talk to the local medical professionals. These new orthobiologic cellular therapies, including PRP treatments, can revitalize your joints without going under the knife. QC Kinetics treatments prompt your body to heal and restore those damaged joints so you won't miss a beat. The best part is there's no downtime. Joint pain doesn't get better with time. So before it's absolutely debilitating, see if you're a candidate for these life-changing regenerative treatments. Call QC Kinetics today for that free consultation. 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. QC Kinetics off 435 in State Line and in Gladstone. 816-412-6299.
Men, this is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health. And though I generally talk about medicine and effective treatments for erectile dysfunction and other men's sexual health issues, today I want to talk about love. Because love is the best reason to get treated for your ED. You see, ED can cause major relationship issues. In fact, men often push their partners away when ED becomes a problem. The condition can cause depression, arguments, breakups, and even contribute to divorce. But the good news is that if you're like most men suffering with ED, you can be successfully treated at Heartland Men's Health and put a stop to the relationship stresses that ED can cause. I say this with all confidence because we have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. Surely, it's likely you'll find you're performing like you haven't in years. So make and get the love back in your life. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices: Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
Hi, it's me, your USPS Ground Advantage shipment. Just left the warehouse.
I know. Just got the notification.
Made it.
Yes, I know. I get all the updates.
Stay in the know with USPS Ground Advantage service. Visit USPS.com/in-the-know.
Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks VapoStick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks VapoStick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And when you need more comfort for yourself, try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors.
Use as directed. VapoStick for use ages 4 and up. Vapo Shower Max use for adults only.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Nia.
Hi, Nia. It's Jennifer. Did you know that Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, I work here.
Okay. I was just double checking. Get it?
Because Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Oh, you get me, Nia.
You could say that I double get you.
I guess we've taken it too far.
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why, when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Mornings can start feeling the same. Wake up, brush teeth, go to work. But with breakfast from Wendy's, it's like, wake up, brush teeth, Baconate with a breakfast Baconator. Roll with the sausage breakfast burrito. Buddy it up with a honey buddy. Or get seasoned with seasoned potatoes. And then go to work. Sorry. When you're ready for a fresh wake-up call, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
All right, everybody, it's here. The March to Spring Training and Opening Day is officially upon us. Hey, I'm Rob Bradford from Baseball Isn't Boring, and we'll have you covered every single day with instant reactions to late-breaking signings, determining which players are, yes, truly in the best shape of their lives, and behind-the-scenes stories from all the excitement and intrigue that spring training brings. Follow Baseball Isn't Boring in the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. Here's traffic brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Kansas side in Olathe, 35 northbound past 169 highway. Accident in the right lane. Slows you for about a mile approaching and keeping things very heavy on the side street as well with that entrance ramp overloaded. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan. Traffic.
That was weird. We just had traffic on explaining what we're seeing on TV and from like somebody else in our ear. Is that Alan Carr?
Trafficception.
Yeah, no doubt. The numbers are in for the Super Bowl. I'm sure you saw these yesterday.
Yeah, we have Chiefs fatigue apparently, right?
Yeah, they're going to boycott it, right?
Right, yeah.
They're going to watch it?
No, not going to watch it at all, right?
Called you all out because it averaged an audience of 126 million viewers, making it the most watched Super Bowl ever.
Yeah, Chiefs fatigue, kiss my ass, right?
There you go.
Now, the peak of the Super Bowl was in the second quarter. I thought it said second quarter, yeah.
Second quarter.
So people, obviously, you checked out after that. I think most people did in the second half of that game. But nonetheless, it was the most watched Super Bowl for everybody who said they weren't going to watch. This happens every year. These people threaten that they're not going to watch the Super Bowl, and then everybody sits down and watches the Super Bowl like, they've never watched before. So, whatever.
Yeah, it's just, we told you what's going to happen.
Yeah, we said it last week. It'll be the most watched Super Bowl of all time. And it was. 13 million watched on Tubi.
Oh, really? Just alone?
Just Tubi alone, yeah.
I don't know what it means to be alone. Back in my city, baby. He's full of them. I'm glad to be back, man. I miss Kansas City.
Man.
Oh, yes. I did not miss this weather at all. You could kick rocks with this stuff, right?
We got in yesterday. I was like, I kind of miss this crispiness of the air. And Bob Levy goes, I'll see you tomorrow.
I do not like cold weather. I do not like snow. I like the warm. I like the spring. I like the summer. This sucks. This was awful.
It was nice to know that, I wasn't just in chaos.
Yeah, well, that was the other thing. Coming back to KCI, it was like a quiet sanctuary compared to what we left in New Orleans, man. Whew.
I mean, meeting people named Hot Rod New Orleans.
I mean, our pilot got on the intercom. I don't know if you heard him, and he goes, "This airport's a disaster. We're going to try to get out."
Because, I was getting picked up, and I was like, hey, we should be landing here. We're getting on the plane now. And then on the way down, like when we're coming down, I'm getting a text and they're like, "Are you close?" I'm like, "Yeah, we're getting ready to land." And they're like, "Seriously? You said you were taking off? Like, I thought you were going to." I was like, we sat there for like 35 minutes waiting. And then it was like,
worse.
Yeah, you guys might not realize that this is a very busy day to fly out because there was a pretty big game last night, apparently. It's like, yeah, I mean, they were just literally like waiting for planes to take off.
It was
left
insane.
and right.
Like,
then finally when we got to back up and get ready, then we sat again waiting to go off again. I was like, yeah, well.
Air traffic was busy because all the private planes were flying in. There were 31 additional flights added to that airport just in commercial flights alone from Kansas City and Philadelphia. So, I mean, it was a very, very busy day. So you're trying to get all these planes out at the same time. And I've never seen the airport like this where like planes were waiting behind the other plane to get out of the gate so they could pull into the gate. I mean, they were working their tail off yesterday to try to get everybody out.
For busiest flying day in the year.
It may be one of the, well, it's only really 2 or 3 cities, right? The host city and then where everybody else
But
is.
it's an international sport.
Yeah,
so
it
you have
is.
international
Yeah.
flights. You have local. I mean, I wonder where that ranks.
Yeah.
Because you think about it, yeah, it's local cities, but it's such an event that has so many people that go to it, like Hot Rod.
Right.
Gold, shiny blazer, slick back. Basically looked like John Voight from the show Ray Donovan.
Yeah, he did. That's a great comparison. Now that, I start to think about it. Yeah, he did look like that guy. Yeah.
If you need to know what he looked like, John Voight, Ray Donovan, who plays the character Mickey Donovan. And if you haven't seen that show, you should check it out because it's pretty damn good. But we meet this guy named Hot Rod, and he's willing to come on the show during the off season of football. And I don't know if we should have this guy.
I think we should.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't we have this guy
Well,
on?
we've only met him once.
Yeah,
he told us on the first time we met him that he's a swinger.
Yeah, okay. You're making the case to have this gentleman on the show.
He looks like John Voight from Ray Donovan.
Okay, another check mark for yes.
And he says he knows the Kansas City area because he blanks with people in the Ozarks.
Well, there you go. 3 for 3. Like that guy's definitely coming on the show. That guy was awesome as we were having a nice meal at GW Finn's, which shout out to them. They're owned by Kansas Cityans. They started the original Bristol. We went over there for dinner. Guy sits down at the table, the owner, Gary, and we had a great conversation with him, and it was so much fun. And so I thank all those guys for having us out to dinner down in New Orleans, and it gave us that opportunity to meet Hot Rod. And that's kind of where the night was like at the middle part.
I
we
got his
started in
number.
the day.
And then he called me. We went to the bars. We wanted Hot Rod to meet Joey Chestnut.
Yeah.
And then, we wanted the mayor, Joey Chestnut, and Hot Rod all in the same photo.
That's right. It would have been great.
And instead, we got faded Likens, faded Fescoe, and faded Mac.
And Josh kind of looking in there as well. Like we couldn't get one good picture where everybody's face looked normal on Friday night. It did. We took like 25 pictures, and every one of them, somebody looked like they were just in the bag. Well,
if you wanted a good picture, you could have got Dayton Hughes, who joins us now here on 96.5 The Fan.
You hear him on game days in the booth.
Quickly, they get chunky and funky with stretching the field vertically.
And Thursday nights at 6 during Players Only.
Spitfire, hot fire take.
Here's Chiefs Radio Network color analyst Dayton Hughes on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
That's right. You should have seen this guy's outfit. This guy is Dayton Hughes, brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. Discover the benefit of blues. I mean, had the all-black, slick-looking Air Force Ones, red pants, white, yellow top, quarter-zip Chiefs.
And a nice red and yellow Chiefs tie underneath
Clean.
as well. I mean,
Very
he's
clean.
looking really, really. When did you plan that outfit, Dayton, for that game, and where did you get those red pants?
So those red pants, actually, well, first of all, good morning, fellas.
Good morning.
I'm glad we are feeling more up today. It sounds like we got a little bit more pep in our step, and little inflections in our voice. I like that.
Yep.
So, Dusty, I'm glad your voice is coming back. You're no longer Peter Brady.
That's
You're
right.
going through puberty. That was good.
Yeah.
Mac just says, who's Peter Brady?
No, man.
No, I'm dating myself.
I had my first real moment on the Chiefs Radio Network, and I came out there with puberty voice. So that's awesome.
But who else went through puberty that everybody kind of in our age knows? Like, I don't know that there's ever been anything like that before.
Nope, I guess not. But it's a memorable scene. All those younger younger folks out there, it's the Brady Bunch.
That's right.
If I didn't hear the Brady Bunch. Now I'm really dating myself. But
right.
the outfit came together. The red pants are actually the pants that I wore last year. So I'm not a superstitious person, but I figured I would go with that same look on the red pants. The shoes were actually a LeBron.
That's right. Yeah, should have known that.
And then I went online and got the yellow jacket. So I tried to represent. It didn't help. But
burn it all.
Down in New Orleans all the way up until Sunday night.
Yeah, I mean it was a fantastic week until 5:30 on Sunday. When did you kind of realize, we're cooked here? Because for me, it was probably about the pick six, 17-0, then it's 24-0, and I didn't take another note after that.
Yeah, 24-0 was the deal sealer for me. I thought 17-0, even with the pick six, you're in a situation where got the ball back. If you can put together a drive, score, and then get the ball coming out after halftime, we could see some life. But once it got to 24, it was a done deal to me. And it was unfortunate because we're a better football team than that. Now, are we a better football team than the Philadelphia Eagles? You have to say no right now because of the way they played and how much better they played in all three phases of the game. But we all know that on any given day, any given Sunday, anybody can beat anyone. I feel like our best football versus their best football, we'd win a close game, but we needed to play quality football. And it was unfortunate because they were unfortunate on many levels. But one of the things, the game of football is usually predicated on, like, big plays. Somewhere along the line, a big play. And I was on KMOX in St. Louis yesterday, and I referenced it like the hospital shows and the emergency room where you see the scenes where the doctor takes out the paddles, rubs them together, and yells clear, and jolts the patient back to life. And it seems like those are the plays that we've always had. And it jolts back the fans, it jolts the sideline, it jolts the players. And we just didn't have that. And that was, like, even the interception by Brian Cook. Like, I was saying in the booth, I had to press my mute button, but I was like, I'm not really – I mean, I like the fact that we got a turnover, but a turnover at the 2-yard line. In that circumstance, with that defensive line, I felt like, in a crazy way, forcing them to kick a field goal would have been better than getting that interception. I know that sounds weird because we live and die off of giveaway takeaways, but even that interception didn't really do anything to jolt us back to life. So it was disappointing. It was a long broadcast, obviously, but you give credit where it's due. Nick Sirianni, who I knew when he first came to Kansas City as his first job, he's a cool dude. I know he doesn't do himself any favors, given that perception, but overall he's a cool dude, and hats off to Jalen Hurts, who I think is cream of the crop, just a class act, and unfortunately it was at our misfortune.
Yeah, it stinks to see the way that the season ended and kind of the way that game just kind of dissipated right before our eyes, and the season just dissipated right before our eyes. It wasn't the exact way that we all had it scripted and worked out. And so now I ask you, Dana, instead of kind of just reflecting back, what do we do moving forward? Like, where do you rank your off-season must-haves, needs, plans, all that kind of stuff?
Well, obviously you have to pay close attention to the offensive line and what you're wanting to do there. Now, the challenge that you have is because you used up early round capital on offensive tackle the last two drafts with Wanye Morris and Kingsley Suamataia, do you go back to the well again in the draft trying to find that tackle? Do you think that one of those guys can play a guard position? Like, those are the decisions. And very rarely do we say with Brett Veach and this Chiefs organization that there's a question mark around the draft or draft capital that has been used, because we've seen the successes of the Trent McDuffies and the George Karlaftis and the Brian Cooks and the Jaden Hicks. And we can go on and on about all the great successes just in recent drafts for the Kansas City Chiefs. But at the tackle position, we haven't really hit it out the park. And you have to be concerned about that because I feel like although the adjustments that were made got us to that point, going against the defensive line, the caliber of the Philadelphia Eagles, and maybe some others around the league, I don't know if we would fare as well, and we didn't fare well. So I'd say the number one thing is to get the offensive line shored up because a lot of the issues that Patrick showed on Sunday, a lot was the offensive line's fault, but I'm not going to take any of the blame or much of the blame away from Patrick Mahomes himself on the offensive line. And he would probably tell you when you look at the film that there were times where he didn't do a good service to his offensive line, whether it was stepping up into the pocket a little too early, whether it wasn't vacating the pocket, maybe getting to the ball to the check down quicker, and moving the ball down the field, taking some of those sacks were as much his fault as the offensive line's fault. And I know the general fan may not see the game that way, but you guys know we see the game differently, not better. We just see it differently. And there were times where Patrick put himself into pressure as opposed to allowing the offensive line and the pocket to materialize and maybe buying himself time by dropping back a couple of steps instead of stepping forward.
Talking to Danon Hughes here. Want to bring this up, and I'm not trying to be like a Richard or anything like that and bring up like terrible memories, but that '97 season that you guys had where you were 13-3, put together probably your best team during that era of the Chiefs. I mean, I know '95 was great, but 13-3, having that home field advantage and then losing to Denver, heartbreaking. That game last Sunday, going for a three-peat and getting, massively overmatched like they did, and seeing that in the locker room and how those players felt, from Mahomes to Kelsey to Chris Jones to Isaiah Pacheco standing there in disbelief. How do you, I would say, what's the time period? I mean, I'm sure everybody's different, but B, and then how much of that do you use as fuel or how much of that do you just forget?
There's a mixture. I don't think you ever forget any of it. I mean, I remember several plays, and this is, we're talking about darn near 30 years ago, and I remember the plays from '95 against the Colts. I remember several plays from the game against the Broncos in '97. Like, you remember all that stuff. Mm-hmm. And some of it you can use to propel yourself. Let's face it. I mean, it can be human nature to have the level of success that the Chiefs and the Chiefs players have had and take those extra weeks off in the off season, do some different things and maybe slack off just a bit. Not saying that they would do that. I'm saying it's human nature. When you have that much success and you've played this much football, the most football of any team in the last half decade, you can start feeling a little bit bad for yourself. You can start feeling like, hey, I can take that extra 2 weeks off, or I can do something different with my preparation in the off season. But this type of loss is a jolt back to reality that you have to get back to the grind. And I feel like the makeup of this team, the makeup of this organization is it doesn't bode well for anybody that they went through this. And I feel like it's going to propel them maybe even into more of a villain embracing mode than we saw this year, because now somebody slapped you in the face and now you got to do something about it. While you were always the one that was slapping people in the face, somebody has now slapped you, and now what are you going to do about it? And the embarrassment of that, we saw this to some extent after the Tampa Bay Bucks Super Bowl. Yeah, we didn't get right back to the Super Bowl, but we made a lot of noise that next year and propelled us to the 2 straight Super Bowls that we did win. So I feel like it's one of those jump off points where every athlete has faced adversity in their life, whether it's an injury or embarrassment, and then you have to look yourself in the mirror and decide, okay, do I want to go out like that? Do I want people to have a lasting memory of me getting slapped around on a worldwide stage, or do I want to go and get back to the grind and do what's necessary to get back to show that I can do some more slapping myself?
Danon, do you think they need to go out and I don't want to use the term change the identity, but let's just say what we were talking about yesterday, going out and getting maybe more of a dynamic running back because that position seemingly is having a renaissance. We don't really truly have a dynamic running back on this team. Do you think that needs to be some sort of addition this offseason to give Patrick that other option now?
I don't think so. I think a 1-2 punch has always worked in the NFL, and I know the new shiny coin right now with Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley is to get the one guy. But then if you look at the Detroit Lions, they had a 1-2 punch, and they did a really nice job this season. And most teams have that 1-2 punch. I just think that we are a team that can run the ball, but we're just not going to run the ball. And I have said this on broadcast on many occasions. Generally speaking, and I understand the run game is definitely necessary, but in the most simplest form of thought, every time we run the ball, the best player in the league does not have the ball. And so if you are Andy Reid, Matt Nagy, you have to gauge how many plays in a game in crucial situations. We're not talking about 4 minutes left in the game and you're up by 4 and you got to run the ball to run the clock down. We're not talking about, specific plays inside, short yardage goal line where you're running the ball. We're talking about the core plays of the game between the 20s. How many times do you not want Patrick Mahomes to do magic, to make magic? That's really what you are deciding every time you decide to run the football. Now, I will say, if you go back to the Super Bowl, the decision to not run the ball was not the best decision made, especially at the clips that we did and the way that we could have taken up some more of the clock. Maybe we could have imposed our will a little bit more on the offensive line, built up some confidence by pushing guys around in the run game as opposed to having to catch them all the time in the pass protection. But I guess I'm just of the school of thought that I want, more times than not, I want my best players to have the ball. And if we have the best, then I want him to have the football more times than not. And if we can have a 1-2 punch, a thunder and lightning type of deal like we do have, then I'm okay with it. And this is just one game that it didn't show itself to be a positive for us, I guess I could say. Having Kareem Hunt, to me, was a godsend this season. Definitely one of the stories of the successes. I don't think we get to the Super Bowl without getting Kareem Hunt. But I think there's some things that we can tighten up on in our run game, specifically our run blocking, that can help it be more of a force. But I don't want to take the ball too much out of Patrick Mahomes' hands.
Fair point, Danny. We appreciate the time this year. We appreciate your time for the last couple of years, and enjoy your time off as we wrap up this season. We wrap all the time with you, and we appreciate all the things you've done for us this year, Dana. Go relax and enjoy it, and gear it for another long run next year.
I appreciate you guys, man. It's always great partnering with you guys, great chatting with you every week, and seeing you guys in the booth and everything. You guys do an awesome job. I listened to you as I was traveling back from New Orleans yesterday and did a great job in a difficult circumstance, the first broadcast after that game. So props to you guys.
Thanks, Dan. Appreciate it. Dan. Same back at you, man. You and Mitch and Josh do an unbelievable job on that broadcast. And, it ended in a way that we didn't want to see it end, but we move on and we'll get back to the Super Bowl next year.
And Dan.
And Dan Israel, too.
We'll do it.
All right. Thank you, Dan Hughes there, brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. Discover the benefit of blue. I want to go against something he said at the end there because I don't 100% agree with him, but we ran out of time, and I'll bring it up on the other side of what he says about taking the ball out of the best player's hands and having that running back combination.
Have the same take as you.
So let's dive into that for a little bit when we get back here on this side. Here on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City Sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
I'll tell you, my friend Don Sharp is the person you need to call if you're looking to buy or sell a home in Kansas City or around the Kansas City area. They're at homesforsaleInKC.com. You can click the button on that website, how much is your home really worth, and find out in a matter of seconds by a true market expert what your home is really worth. Then you call my friend Dawn Sharp and talk to her about options that you can have when buying or selling your home. And if you think selling one's home is complex, imagine coordinating two home transactions simultaneously in different areas. That's where Dawn Sharp and her expert team turn complexity into clarity for families across our region. Recently, clients needed to sell their Pleasant Hill home while buying in Kingsville, just outside of Kansas City. Dawn's team didn't just handle both transactions, they made it look easy. Their deep knowledge of multiple markets combined with careful timing and coordination created a seamless experience for their growing family. What others see as challenging, Dawn's team sees as an opportunity to showcase their expertise. Whether you're buying, selling, or both, they provide information and guidance you need to make confident decisions, and they can also give you options. You can contact them to discuss their instant offer program as well. Contact the only agent I would trust if I needed to sell my home. It's Dawn Sharp with the Sharp Homes team. You can Google them, Sharp Homes team, see them brokered by Epic Realty, and see over 200 five-star Google and Zillow reviews, or just visit them at homesforsaleInKC.com and start packing.
Planning to propose this Valentine's Day? Shane Company has your back. Our easy process to create your dream engagement ring is rock solid. 1. Pick your ring setting. 2. Choose your center stone. 3. Personalize it. With our wide selection of beautiful settings and hand-picked diamonds and gemstones, all at competitive prices, your ring will be as unique as your love story. We'll hand set your ring in our jeweler's workshop right here in our store and protect it with our free lifetime warranty. Walk in with a dream, walk out with the ring that will take their breath away. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Fellas, this is Cody, and let's talk about getting back to your best. Maybe you lack energy, muscle mass, feel moody, have low libido. All of it could be low testosterone. Testosterone therapy, or TRT, may be the answer, and you'll find the true experts at Low T Center. But guys aren't the same, so don't settle for standard dosage TRT programs. I learned about personalized treatment at Low T Center. Get the results with a customized TRT. And for current patients, Low T Center offers a $150 referral credit when you refer a new patient. So go to lowtcenter.com to book an appointment. That's lowtcenter.com. Low T Center. Reinventing men's healthcare.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Spring forward with real unlimited data from Straight Talk this tax season and get a free Samsung Galaxy A16 5G or Moto G Power 5G 2024 with select plans. So you can stream games during Mad March hours, check the weather for April showers, and watch gardening videos about May flowers. Straight Talk, real unlimited data, available at Walmart and straighttalk.com. Offer valid through 4/15/25. Taxes and fees apply. Requires purchase of single line Gold Unlimited plan or higher. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million+ products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Mornings can start feeling the same. Wake up, brush teeth, go to work. But with breakfast from Wendy's, it's like, wake up, brush teeth, Baconate with a breakfast Baconator. Roll with the sausage breakfast burrito. Buddy it up with a honey buddy. Or get seasoned with seasoned potatoes. And then go to work. Sorry. When you're ready for a fresh wake-up call, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
Wouldn't you like to take a vacation from your bills? Well, you can. The new year is here. Home values are up, and you have more home equity than ever. Now is the time to put that home equity to work for you. This is James Hawkins, president of Golden Oak Lending. Credit card balances are at an all-time high. Why pay 25 to 30% interest to them when you could be saving thousands of dollars after a simple phone call? Golden Oak's mortgage rate is 5.25%. We have no fee to apply and no out-of-pocket costs. And if you call today, you could make no payments for 2 months. But don't wait. This rate won't last forever. Imagine how good it will feel to have those bills paid off. At Golden Oak Lending, we can make that happen in as little as 14 days. And if for any reason your loan doesn't close, we will pay for your appraisal. Call today and take advantage of our 5.25 fixed rate. Call 913-890-GOLD.
Golden Oak Lending, cured my blues.
6.19 APR, FHA, 15-year, 20% equity, qualified credit. Additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Missouri side, inbound I-70, off again, on again, slowdowns from 470, basically all the way out towards Van Brunt, and then it slows down ahead of downtown, very heavy from Truman into the downtown loop. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
Fescoe and Dusty, Mac Morey, our producer, as well with you. Just had Dayton Hughes on, wrapping up the Dayton Hughes season here on Fescoe and Dusty. Love that guy, great guy,
one of the best human beings you'll ever done meet.
But I do have to disagree with something that he said, and that's just what we do in this profession. You agree, you would disagree, you have conversation. So he mentions, we talk about the running game, and you asked him the question I brought up yesterday about maybe this team needs a skill set running back.
Mm-hmm.
Like when they went and got Kareem Hunt out of, Toledo. And nobody knew who Kareem Hunt was, but he fit this system well because he could catch and he could run.
Binkley knew. He watched that game.
Yeah. Holy Toledo. And I think the thing that's crazy about that is that, unfortunately, he slips up in the offseason or in season and messes his prime up with the team that if they had him, you would have had that dynamic running back. And you didn't have to find him in the first round because you don't draft in that, early set. Nobody's going to trade with you in a top 10 pick. First in the third round. And there is a possibility because there are a lot of running backs that are coming to the league that are rookies. There's a lot of free agency availability as well when it comes to running backs. I think the Chiefs need to get back into this mold because there is somewhat of a renaissance of running back play where teams that have it are successful. And I know that these guys like Gibbs and Bijan Robinson and Cook, guys like that are hard to find. But we know that you can find a running back in the third round. In fact, if you have the first pick in the third round, you can find a pretty good guy probably available. And the Chiefs need to run the ball more. And I know they need to, you hear that and you say, well, Mahomes and, Andy Reid, that's not really what they do. Philadelphia knew they were throwing the ball the entire game and still didn't have to blitz. They knew they could beat the Chiefs' offensive line. And the only way that I could have seen that team be more honest on defense is if you had somebody that was of that dual threat. And what is one thing that really beats an aggressive defensive line bull rushing forward with those four guys? A little dump off to a very, very athletic running back.
Or just run right by him.
That's still not taking the ball out of Patrick Mahomes' hands. The best player on the field is still touching the ball and giving it an option to get that other player available. Because in the playoffs, the 3 games that they played, Kareem Hunt had 22 carries for 117 yards. Not bad, a 5.3 yard average.
That's sometimes somebody's one game, though, you know?
And that's what Kareem Hunt did in 3 games. Now, the last game he had 8 attempts on 9, or I don't even think he had that. He had 3 attempts at 9 yards in his last game.
In the Super Bowl.
In the Super Bowl.
Right.
And part of that's because you're getting blown out. Isaiah Pacheco in the playoffs. Now, again, I think he was running a little bit injured more than he led on to believe. 13 carries for 37 yards, 2.8 average. Your second leading rusher in the playoffs was Patrick Mahomes with 22 carries for 82 yards and netting 3.7 an average a carry.
Yeah.
You need someone else, and you didn't have that thunder and lightning. you didn't have that dynamic. And if you're going to keep Kareem or you're going to keep Isaiah Pacheco, they're both similar with that way they run. They're powerful, spearheaded running backs. You throw some sort of athletic, sort of guy that can be creative, then it works perfectly because you've got Worthy and Rice under contract. You have Travis Kelce coming back. Not only does the addition help Patrick Mahomes with an adverse sort of athletic running back, not adverse, but an athletic running back that can do multiple things, that takes a load of pressure on Travis Kelce. And then you've got youth at RB, youth at wide receivers, and a quarterback who's getting older at age 30. I know that sounds wild to say, but now all of a sudden it's like, instead of you having to be this Superman magical Pat Mahomes, now you can be the 3-step drop back guy that Brady turned into the older he got and really start to carve away this league. Again, not changing really, but evolving in this league.
Well, yeah, you have to evolve. And my whole thought was when Danon said, you don't want to take the ball out of the number one player's hands in the NFL. And while I don't disagree with that, I do, though, believe that if you have him have options and guys that he can go to in different ways, maybe you accentuate Patrick Mahomes and make him better. Because if there are more options out there, then you're keeping these teams off balance a little bit. And you go back to the Super Bowl and you think, okay, if they're only going to rush 4, well, then start handing the ball off. Let's just start running up. Let's start running up the gut. Let's start running up the middle. Let's do that kind of stuff and see if we can get them now. Okay, now all of a sudden I got to commit to the line of scrimmage, and now maybe I have to start blitzing Patrick Mahomes in the passing game. And then Patrick Mahomes, as we know, is a superstar against the blitz. That's why Philadelphia didn't blitz him, because they know once we start blitzing, Patrick Mahomes is just going to carve us up. But they didn't give any other options out there. So Philadelphia never had to adjust. They never had to change their defense because Andy Reid and his offense pretty much stayed the same, and that was throw. And that's not a shot. Those are the numbers. Those are the facts. They ran the ball, 9 times in the Super Bowl or something like that? And so I know they were behind early in this game, but they were never to a point where you couldn't run the football. You get behind 7-0, you can still run the football. It's not panic time because you're down by a touchdown. Even down 10-0, you can still run the football at that point in time. And so do they need to go out and get somebody young and fun at running back? Yeah, I think they do. But if they do, there's no guarantees that Andy's going to go out there and utilize that guy, because he really never kind of had done that since he's been here into Kansas City. Never really had that guy in Kansas City. So he's got to be willing to adjust as well and work that guy in, because I think if you work him in and keep defenses now guessing even more, you're going to have an opportunity to make Patrick Mahomes better. Because as we know right now, and we'll get into what Rob Gronkowski said on the other side in the next hour, when you just have to rush 4 at Patrick Mahomes, that is his kryptonite. How do you counteract that? Mix in the run a little bit, change things up, and now all of a sudden they have to put guys at the line of scrimmage because you're running the football, 8 in the box, maybe boom over the top, and then you got the Patrick Mahomes and all. So I think options are good for this offense moving forward.
I just think people are like, well, you can't run the ball, but they didn't even try in the first. They threw it 5 times and they got a first down. They went 3 and out. They went through it 4 times in the first drive. Came back out of the second drive. First 2 plays, pass, and then a run. It's it's not that you necessarily. And again, I'm not saying that you have to find Jahmyr Gibbs or Bijan Robinson,
because when you go try to find those guys, you won't.
You don't. But somebody will be available at pick 1 in the 3rd round where where you have that option. You have that option there. You can go find an offensive, left tackle. Then your left side is good. Then you are left tackle, whoever you got. Left guard is Joe Tooney. Center is Creed Humphrey. Then you got to figure, Juwan Taylor's playing right tackle.
Yep.
And then whatever you do at right guard, that's where you either draft or you go find a free agent right guard. I don't know. But then if you get a running back and you have a good offensive line, Mahomes gets better. The more that sort of talent he gets, because everybody always says this. You know what I mean? What happens if Jamal Charles is on this team?
Yeah, right. Yeah, completely different ball club, right?
Literally ask the hypothetical. Would you rather have Derek Thomas on this team or Jamal Charles? And everybody loves Derek Thomas, but I bet the poll question, they would say Jamal Charles. Maybe we can do that Wednesday, but I think you would say that, Mac.
I absolutely would say that.
I mean, just imagine that. I mean, I get sure. You'd have a pass rusher in Derek Thomas. It'd be fantastic. You put a guy like Jamal Charles on this offense, holy cow.
Yeah, it changes things up a little bit. But that's ultimately what the biggest takeaway from the Super Bowl is. If you don't have a legit running attack with Kansas City, they're going to rush 4, they're going to drop 7, and Patrick Mahomes is going to be stymied. That's the takeaway from the Super Bowl. It's the takeaway from the Tampa Super Bowl as well. And it's kind of the takeaway from Denver, as you brought up earlier. These guys that are just going to, and everybody's going to try it now with Patrick Mahomes. Everybody's going to go into these games against the Chiefs just trying to rush 4 and drop 7 back until the Chiefs are willing to change. And I think they will, because Andy Reid has been one of the best evolving coaches that I've ever seen. And that's why, again, I keep saying I'm excited for next year to see what they're going to do, because Andy Reid has evolved so much as a head coach just here in Kansas City. He's going to have to evolve again to take this team to the next level.
A month away from a very important time in the offseason for football, and even more so this year for the Kansas City Chiefs. Plus, Bob alluded to it. Rob Gronkowski said is the recipe to beat the Chiefs. All that coming up on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
Fescoe and Dusty. Subscribe and watch the show on YouTube by going to our channel at The Fan 965, Kansas City's FM sports station. 96.5 The Fan.
Well, guys, generally we hear talk about medicine and effective treatments for erectile dysfunction and other men's sexual health issues. Today, I want to talk to you about love, because love is the best reason to get treated for ED. ED can cause major relationship issues. In fact, men often push their partners away when ED becomes a problem. The condition can cause depression, arguments, breakups, and even contribute to divorce. The one you love is the light of your life. And if you're like most men, you want to do whatever you can to nurture that relationship. Heartland Men's Health has treatments when the pills or herbals fail. They have treatments with success rates well over 90%. Some treatments can even have you last an hour or more. Heartland Men's Health is successfully treating men right here in Kansas City. So schedule a consult with Heartland Men's Health today. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes a medical consult with a licensed medical provider, a T and PSA test, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. They have 3 locations to serve you: Overland Park, Independence between Blue Springs and Lee Summit, and North Kansas City. So call them today, 844-447-6600, or visit heartlandmenshealth.com.
What I was told was bone on bone. I was going to have knee replacement, and I do not like surgery.
Desperate to avoid surgery, Julie decided to check out QC Kinetics non-surgical regenerative treatments.
My daughter actually works in a Chapel Hill, North Carolina lab, and I sent her all of the information that I was given, and she's like, "Oh, Mom, this is for you. I've heard great things about this." She's like, "You need to try it before ever doing surgery."
Julie started the QC Kinetics natural biologic treatments right in the office, using her own healing properties to help restore her damaged tissue.
I know, my daughter was right. Yeah, it's nice when you've got that person you can go to who might have a little bit more information, especially on the science of it. QC Kinetics, it's life-changing.
Find out if you're a good candidate. Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. 816-412-6299.
98 years. That's how long Overhead Door Company of Kansas City has been repairing and replacing garage doors. Locally owned and operated since 1927. Headquartered in Olathe. Always look for the iconic red ribbon of the genuine, the original Overhead Door Company of Kansas City. For same-day repair service 24/7, call Overhead Door Company of Kansas City, 816-221-0072. Or schedule online at ohdkc.com.
There are a ton of ways to kick off your day. Gym grind, endless scroll, or snooze button life. But McDonald's has a deal that levels up your morning above the rest. Now at McDonald's, mix and match your choice of a fluffy sausage, egg, and cheese McGriddles and sizzly sausage McMuffin with egg for just $5. With a deal this fire, there's no better way to upgrade your mornings than with a delicious breakfast. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal. Single item at regular price.
Drowning in IRS debt? If you can't afford to pay your IRS debt due to economic hardship, you can now be free of IRS collection efforts by taking advantage of a special IRS tax hardship program. This program allows Americans who owe the IRS to resolve their delinquent tax debt once and for all. In some cases, maybe even reducing what you owe significantly. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Simply dial 800-514-1026 if you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back or have years of unfiled tax returns. Help is standing by. Just call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-514-1026 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-514-1026 to see if you qualify. That's 800-514-1026.
This report is brought to you by CareNow Urgent Care. Find one near you at carenow.com.
CareNow Urgent Care has 15 Kansas City area locations open 7 days a week. From injuries and illnesses to school and sports physicals, CareNow Urgent Care is here to help you feel better fast. Find a location near you at carenow.com and use our convenient web check-in today.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Brought to you by the National Pheasant and Quail Classic at the KC Convention Center March 7th through 9th. On the Missouri side, it's very heavy in the Grandview Triangle with an accident 435 westbound right before 103rd. 2 right lanes taken away with that. Pheasants Forever National Pheasant Fest and Quail Classic is coming to the Kansas City Convention Center this March 7th through 9. Join us for puppy and dog training seminars of a youth village for kids and more than 400 unique exhibitors. More information at pheasantfest.org. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
You're listening to the all-new 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports. KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
Diving right back into it in the 8 o'clock hour here on Fescoe and Dusty, live in Kansas City, boys. We're back home. Feet in familiar territory. Feels good to be back. Feels great to be back, actually. See familiar landmarks. Was it weird to drive? Is it ever weird for you the first day back? Because we were gone for 8 days.
Yeah, it's a long time.
We didn't drive, only Ubers. And then you get in your car this morning, like, oh, it feels so great to control where I'm going. Free agent class top running backs available. Aaron Jones, Najee Harris, Jeff Wilson, A.J. Dillon, Nick Chubb, Javonte Williams, Alexander Mattson, Travis Horner, and Naheem Miller-Hines.
Yeah, if I'm doing a running back, I'm drafting. I'm going with a young guy. I just think that, like Mac's age, 26 years old, like that's the sweet spot.
So I'll ask you this.
So that's not drafting then.
Well, but I mean that's a young. I'm not signing a free agent. Running backs have too much wear and tear. I'm going with a younger person. Yes.
So J.K. Dobbins is 26.
Yeah,
and he's a free agent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're not going to spend. I don't expect the Chiefs to spend a lot of money this free agency. And if I'm spending any money this free agency on guys from outside the organization, I think I have to look at left tackle first, second, and third and figure out what I want to do at that position, because that really does make everything better. And there's a lot of guys that are going to be free agents, in this league, obviously. But there's a lot of guys that are going to be free agents on this roster that we're going to have to probably say goodbye to once the offseason begins and 1 month from today or tomorrow. I think it's March 12th that the league year begins, in the NFL. So it's real fast, and we're going to have to start thinking about ways to kind of revamp this team and move forward and figure out where we're going to go, with this organization. So I think there's a lot of hard decisions that need to be made, but I think there's a lot of easy decisions that need to be made as well. You want to go through that list of potential free agents for the Chiefs?
These are the Chiefs pending on unrestricted free agents, and we'll just go yay or nay, okay? Tell me what you think.
Okay.
Well, forgetting money, forgetting expenses, just do you want him back on the team, right?
Right.
Trey Smith.
Yeah, he's a guy I would like to have back in Kansas City. I don't know if he will be back in Kansas City, but he's a guy that I would like to have back, yes.
Dustman?
Wasn't his best year this year, but I mean, obviously he's seeked by many for his potential for his talent in his position. If you don't have to go through it, again, I think you can find a right guard in the draft at a young age. But if I don't have to, and money's not an issue, just keep Smith, obviously.
D-Hop?
No.
I think I'm out.
Yeah, he didn't do anything. He literally contributed nothing.
I would have been fine bringing him back if it weren't for the comments, honestly, after the Super Bowl. I'm turned off by that completely.
Really?
Don't need that. Yep.
Okay.
Don't need that.
Him throwing the shade at the referees.
Yeah. That's not.
But what did he really do here? I mean, I don't remember. Like, he dropped the biggest pass of his life.
You know, I saw a lot of things in the media about the refs, but obviously, what y'all gonna say now about the refs and us when there was a lot of touchy calls? Are y'all gonna report that? Are y'all gonna talk about the refs now?
Yeah, you don't need to feed that.
Come
fire.
on now, that's just ridiculous.
Hate that from a vet.
Yeah.
So Hollywood Brown.
No, probably not.
Okay.
I'm probably not in on Hollywood Brown at this point in time. Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy are going to be very nice, for this team. So I would say probably not on Hollywood Brown. If they did, I wouldn't hate it, but it's not a guy that I'm seeking out. He'd be like, who was the running back we had a couple of years ago from Texas Tech that always seemingly came back late? Yeah, like a Jarek McKinnon guy. Like if he's hanging out later in the offseason, then maybe it's somebody I consider.
Yeah, I mean, this is just tough to do without money or whatever. Because, obviously, if he wants to do the 1 year, like another prove it year, then I'd obviously be all in. So, like, again, if money's not an issue, I will keep all of these guys. I mean, maybe not DeAndre Hopkins, but, like, yeah, I would bring back Hollywood Brown because then what? He's your fourth option in the offense.
Mm-hmm.
I would assume that Rice would be one, Worthy would be two, or whatever. That'd be your A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith sort of thing, and then you have Kelsey's your third.
It's pretty good. And then you get running back.
Yeah, you're running back, right? Yeah.
So
Justin Watson and Kareem Hunt. I kind of assume that
I'm out on that.
I would bring Justin Watson back just because I think he's a reliable target for Patrick. Like, I think he's like Patrick's, I can count on you guys.
He goes to him.
You know, he does.
He gets touchdowns. He's a veteran.
Yeah.
Don't hate it. Also, wouldn't mind seeing maybe another guy in that position.
Yeah, I'm done on that.
Yeah, I'm kind of over it now. Deshaun Wharton.
I like Turk Wharton, man. He's a nice player. Yeah, I think, based on who's free agents along that defensive front with Amenahu and Derek Nottie, if I had to bring back one, it'd be Turk Wharton for me of those three.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Tax season.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, you got three D linemen. It's Wharton, Amenahu, and Nottie. Between those three, do you have, like, a one that pops out to you that you'd
Wharton like for me. Yeah,
Okay.
Wharton, but I also like Charles Amenahu, like both of those guys.
I'm bringing Chuck back over anybody.
But Nottie, I think we've seen, I'm good moving on from Derek Nottie. He's had his time here in Kansas City, and he's done great here, but it's probably time to move on. So, I could see bringing back Turk Wharton and Charles Amenahu in that outfit that he had on the other night. My God.
Oh, he was looking fly.
Looking
very fresh.
Ooh.
Yeah, you had a front row look. It kind of depends on what you want, pass rush or run stop between Wharton and Amenahu. But Bolton, that's a big name, right? One of the biggest. Another guy like Trey Smith, who'd probably be top of the market.
Yeah.
Top 5 paid at his position.
It's hard for me because I'd like to see him back, but I also understand that they may not bring him back. But, perfect world, bring him back.
He wears the dot.
Yeah.
He's the quarterback of the defense. But again, maybe it's, this team lost in the Super Bowl. They were going for a three-peat. Maybe it's time to
freshen things up a little bit.
Clean some things out. And if that's Nick Bolton parting ways, then that's Nick Bolton parting ways. I don't think they're bringing him back.
I kind of feel the same way, Dusty.
I just don't see it because he's going to get paid very handsomely by somebody. And I think if his agency is smart, what does Nick Bolton need to prove? He needs to prove it's the same. He got drafted at a decent spot, but now he has the opportunity to go get everything. And if the Trey Smith narrative is you've won Super Bowls and you need one more thing, and that's to get the bag, why is the same narrative not the same for Nick Bolton?
Great point.
Would he love to be a Chief for his life? For sure. But he's won his Super Bowls. He's a middle linebacker. Not paid very well like other positions. And when you can get that opportunity, it may not be with Kansas City, but you've done everything you can for Kansas City. And everybody would understand that if you went to the Saints, right? Because that's where Chiefs normally go.
Yep.
If you went to the Saints and they gave you, whatever it is, the big contract for a middle linebacker, you take it.
Yeah,
and you just go live your life.
Yep.
And you'll be remembered in the Kansas City Hall of Fame for the rest of your career. And you'll be a Missouri legend. And go do whatever you want, and you'll be very, very wealthy. And I don't think anybody would be mad if Nick Bolton got signed somewhere else. But I don't see them bringing him back.
I don't know the last time this team's paid a linebacker like that. Anthony Hitchens, they brought him in, gave him some money, Time was up. All right, see ya. Same thing with Willie Gay. All right, see ya. I mean, they kind of haven't really done that. So I'd agree with you. I think Bolton's gone. I'd say the same with Justin Reed.
Yeah,
right?
I think Justin Reed's probably played his last down here in Kansas City. The man had a walking stick last night at the game. Walking out of the locker room, he had a walking stick with him. Yeah, it was pretty awesome, actually.
Yeah, you could see the end of that one.
Yeah, and he tweeted about it too. So I feel like he's kind of at peace with it.
Yeah.
Everybody seemingly knows they're going to move forward from him with Brian Cook stepping up. That's the way this organization works. They draft to replace when guys become free agents.
And Jaden Hicks. Yeah. So like you said, it's going to be through the draft. Only 6 picks, 4 in the first 3 rounds, $11 million in cap space for the Chiefs this offseason.
Crazy. Again, turnovers nuts. Can they get a solidification in the draft this year? Can they have a solid draft and then build onto that? And then all of a sudden, in 3 years from now, we're saying, yeah, they're going for another back-to-back Super Bowl run.
Like another draft they had like 2 years ago, you know?
They would need to have that. We'll play this.
It was like the same blueprint that we had when we beat them in the Super Bowl when I was on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Rush 4, put all the pressure on Patrick Mahomes, let him scramble around, get frustrated, and then throw interceptions.
We'll dive into that on the other side here on Fescoe and Dusty on 96.5 The Fan. Your home for Kansas City Sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty. Make sure to follow us on Instagram @TheFan965 for behind-the-scenes content from the show. Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan.
I don't know why I didn't think of this sooner, but I'm calling the good folks over at Aspen Lawn and Pest Control, and I'm saying, hey, come out and help me with my yard, because for the last couple of years, we've been battling, we've been fighting, we've been just screaming at our yard because it looks so bad. We had major trees cut down, and we just can't get the grass to grow right. We can't get our lawn to look good, and so I've decided now I'm done trying, and I'm going to go with the guys over at Aspen Lawn and Pest Control. These guys have college educations in how to grow the best lawns, so I'm going to turn it over to them. They get the job done right the first time as well. And of course, you see those iconic blue trucks all around town. And where are they? In front of the nicest lawns in Kansas City. And so now I'm about to have those trucks in front of my house, giving me the nicest lawn on the block. All the guys on the street that have great lawns now are going to look at mine and go, dang, he really stepped up his game. And it's all because of Aspen Lawn and Pest Control. And the pest control side is great as well, because we love sitting outside. They're going to take care of all those mosquitoes that are normally there in the spring, summer, and fall. They've been doing great work in Kansas City since 1985. So call them today. Get that free estimate, plus up to half off your first application when you mention you heard them right here on 96.5 The Fan. You can call or visit aspenlawn.com. That's aspenlawn.com.
Hey, it's Brian Baldinger with the Journey to the Big Game, presented by Hyundai. Championship weekend did not disappoint, as the teams for the big game were cemented. Kansas City knocked off Buffalo in a heavyweight matchup for the ages. Philadelphia also took care of business against a fan-favorite Washington team. Now you can buy a new Hyundai from the comfort of your own home at Amazon. Visit HyundaiUSA.com for more details.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
I'm Brian Tedesco, CEO of Blaupunk Americas, the pioneers of the car stereo. Today, we're not just about sound systems. We are revolutionizing the e-bike scene with Blue Dot Bike. Thanks to AmericanEagle.com, our online presence now features a dynamic e-commerce website that showcases the quality and affordability of our foldable e-bikes. And our collegiate e-bikes, just perfect for the college fanatic. These e-bikes offer a new way to experience freedom on 2 wheels, no matter your age. When we needed a top-notch website to match our cutting-edge e-bikes, we turned to AmericanEagle.com. They made the impossible seem easy, tackling digital challenges like pros. Check out the Blue Dot Bike website to see AmericanEagle.com's amazing work in action. Need the best in website and digital marketing solutions? AmericanEagle.com is your go-to. They've been a game changer for us, and they can be for you too. Visit AmericanEagle.com or call 877-WEB-NOW-1. That's 877-WEB-NOW-1.
This is the story of the one.
As a maintenance specialist for University Housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Mornings can start feeling the same. Wake up, brush teeth, go to work. But with breakfast from Wendy's, it's like, wake up, brush teeth, Baconate with a breakfast Baconator. Roll with the sausage breakfast burrito. Buddy it up with a honey buddy. Or get seasoned with seasoned potatoes. And then go to work. Sorry. When you're ready for a fresh wake-up call, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
Booth Creek Wagyu, KC's premier Wagyu beef meat market, has even more convenient ways for you to shop. In addition to their location at 135th and Metcalf, they're now open at 95th and Knoll. Everyone deserves to elevate their beef. Whether you're looking to wow your family with a meal they'll never forget or impress your friends, neighbors, and coworkers, their Wagyu experts are ready to help you pick out something unforgettable. Booth Creek Wagyu, now with 2 locations, open 7 days a week, or at boothcreekwagyu.com.
Attention lovebirds. Valentine's Day is almost here, and Diamonds Direct has the gifts to wow your special someone. From dazzling diamonds and trending gold to vibrant gemstones, pearls, even timepieces. With hundreds of stunning styles under $1,000 and an exquisite collection of one-of-a-kind luxury pieces. Make your moment unforgettable. The best selection, value, and service are waiting for you. Make this Valentine's unforgettable with fine jewelry for every budget. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion. You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Missouri side, things still heavy in the Grandview Triangle, but improving. 435 westbound before 103rd. That accident was blocking 2 right lanes. Now off to the shoulder, and things starting to recover, but really still pretty slow all in through that interchange. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
Right back into it. Here on Fescoe and Dusty, we played you the audio of what Gronk had to say. Here it is again.
It was like the same blueprint that we had when we beat them in the Super Bowl when I was on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Rush 4, put all the pressure on Patrick Mahomes, let him scramble around, get frustrated, and then throw interceptions.
So Patrick Mahomes, pressure on him and have him throw an interception.
Yeah, that's exactly what they did in Tampa. That's what they did in Philly, right?
Yeah, that's exactly. I mean, that's just look. There's been a couple of teams that have been able to do that, and it's tough, obviously, right? Like you've got to find at least 3 really good defensive linemen, and the shade that the offensive line is getting is a little unfair on the text line. Now, the offensive line was not good in the Super Bowl.
Joe Tooney was not good. Caliendo, not good, right?
That, again, that might have been, and it was, according to many sort of stats in the NFL, that was the best defense in football.
Right.
And that defensive line was good. Like, the conversation going into that game was, is Jalen Carter the next Chris Jones? And they brought back a guy who they brought off the injured reserve list to play in that game as well at the end. And that added to it. That D-line is good. The offensive line for the Kansas City Chiefs is decent, but it's not to the standard of what that team was in Philadelphia. Now, that team in Philadelphia is a Super Bowl chance because of what that defensive front is. Like, that is a very, very vital piece to their success, along with a good offensive line. They just play old-school style football. They run the hell out of the football because they have a solidified offensive line, and their defensive line pressures quarterbacks into making mistakes, which is exactly what every quarterback did in the playoffs that they played. They did it to the rookie in Daniels. They did it to the professional in Patrick Mahomes in back-to-back games and created turnovers and created points. Props to them. But the thing is like that team doesn't exist all the time, right? Like the Chiefs have had issues with teams like that. And the teams that were like that were Philadelphia, Tampa Bay. Now, both offensive lines for the Chiefs were either beat up or they were just not that great, which whatever. But Tennessee was another one that blew them out. They had a very strong defensive front with Vrabel's coaching staff. And then Denver this year. And Denver, remember when we talked to Mitch Holtis? Their defensive line against our tackles is a nervous concern of mine.
Right.
And that's what had Mitch shook the most, was that Denver game was something we weren't even thinking about. Like, oh, the tackles out, Juwan Taylor and whoever else was out there, Wanya Morris. And you're like, okay. And then the entire game, Denver's front four were just pressuring Patrick Mahomes. And he was either trying to get away from it by going right into it, which is what the defense wants, or he's reacting too early when he didn't need to, but the trust is gone, causing the ripple effect of everything that goes negative after that happens.
So you're 100% right when you say not everybody has a defensive line like Philadelphia. I don't know that I've ever seen a defensive line that good in the last 25 years, right? They're just a spectacular defensive line. But that doesn't mean you still can't execute that kind of game plan against the Chiefs. And for years we talked about the blitz with Patrick Mahomes and how great he is against the blitz, and people would still be blitzing Patrick Mahomes and he would still pick them apart with the blitz. I think the only way that we have now truly seen Patrick Mahomes get rattled and beat is when you rush 4 and you drop 7 back, like Rob Gronkowski said. 2 teams have now done that to Mahomes in the Super Bowl and made him look like, a normal quarterback. A couple of teams have done it in the regular season. Based on the fact that they're not Super Bowl teams, the Chiefs found ways, like Denver, to get past that kind of stuff and get a victory over the Denver Broncos. But now as we start to move forward and you start to see that blueprint has been laid out there, more and more teams, I believe, if they're smart, and there's a lot of dumb head coaches in the NFL that are too stupid to tie their shoes, but if you're playing against the Kansas City Chiefs moving forward and you're not just rushing 4 and dropping 11 back, then you should be fired that day as the head football coach because you're too stupid. So I think that's what's going to be happening now as we begin to move forward in this next phase of what we're calling this, Chiefs dynasty, Patrick Mahomes' career, is that teams are going to be doing what we saw in the Super Bowl because it was so effective. And so you may not have the horses that Philly has, but you can still have that same game plan. And that's why it's up to the Chiefs as well to change things up a little bit on the offensive end, mix in a run or two, or do something different from an offensive standpoint, because at times you can't always blame the offensive line. If the opponent knows what's coming every single time, they're at an advantage. That offensive line is at a major disadvantage. And for the most part, that defensive line was told, play against these guys like they're passing on every single play. And if they beat us on the run, so they beat us on the run. It's not that big a deal. But we're going to play every down like it's a passing down. And because there was no adjustment and there was no running of the football, every down did turn into a passing down, and they had their way. And so the Chiefs got to find a way to counteract that, and that's got to be one of the biggest things from not statistical, but from a scheming standpoint that they need to really work on this offseason. And again, Andy's evolved. Andy knows what he's doing. I'm sure they will have a game plan for that, but that should be, if you're playing the Kansas City Chiefs, the standard of defense that you run against them until they show you that they can beat that, and then you have to find another way to move forward trying to stop this team.
Yeah, he's just, I don't know. I mean, I get it. I get how, when you look at this roster and you think about, everything that we talk about when it comes to, the blueprint of, that's the thing is, any team, you had mentioned this, if you can't get to the quarterback, if you can get to the quarterback and, your offensive line's that bad where 4 people just consistently can do it. Because that's the thing is, and I was telling this texter, the offensive line's not great. It's mid at best, or it's a little bit more than average. It wasn't like every team was able to just do that sort of thing that Philadelphia was able to do. Like you had mentioned, Buffalo wasn't really doing it that much. Buffalo was doing it, but they weren't constantly on Mahomes' tail. Houston was a great defensive line, and they were getting pressure to Mahomes, but it wasn't like this. And, I mean, that's the thing. It's maybe that's what we're going to see now moving forward in the NFL, is that's how the league will evolve, is that they will just start saying that, you can wreck games and you can win games if you have 3 great defensive linemen. Because the Rams essentially on their defense had a freak in Aaron Donald.
Yeah.
And he created it for a while. And then the Chiefs had Chris Jones, and that helped. Now that's not enough. Like that, Chris Jones wasn't even in the game really because, I mean, obviously he had the neck sting or whatever, but also like their offensive line also great. So like Philly just plays like old school football, and it worked because they have some anomalies in places that you don't. Like they have 2 of the top offensive linemen in the game at the same time with the best running back in football. And then they have one of the best, if not the best, defensive line. So it just so happened to work out against the Chiefs. And again, like
again, matchups are a lot of the problem in sports too, right? Like you could have the best laid plan. I just don't think the Chiefs had a great plan for this game, guys. Like, and it's okay to say that. Like, I think they were just kind of outsmarted by Nick Sirianni in that game because I don't look at it and say, well, they lost. I know they gave up 40-some points when it's all said and done.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't think they lost that game because the defense was a problem in that game. They lost the game because Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid were the problems in that game. Like we talked for an entire week about, yes, the Eagles may have this better roster. And I even said to Binkley on Sunday when I was on with him and Drew before the game, I said, I'm so tired of the narrative that Philadelphia has the better roster. We still have Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. And Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes were outcoached and outplayed by Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni.
So they played this game 10 times. How many times did the Chiefs lose?
Based on that effort, all of them, I would say. But, I mean, I don't know. I don't have an answer. I think it's hard to figure that out because what we saw on Sunday, if they played that game again and they played that same style of game, they're never going to win that game. It would take a lot of adjusting by the Kansas City Chiefs to go out there and win. And when we say Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid are better than Sirianni and Hurts, they've got to be better than Sirianni and Hurts. And if they're not, they weren't going to win that game, and they just weren't. So I don't know the answer to that question. I'd like to say more often than not it'd be a 50-50 split, but based on what we saw, the Chiefs didn't have a chance in that football game.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. That's not really how that works. But I would just say, like, if those two teams on paper play 10 times, I think the Chiefs win 5 of those games.
Yeah, I don't think they do. Not the way that they played on Sunday. Just not at all. I mean, I feel like Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes needed to be great that day, and they weren't great that day. And I don't know what the alternate is. So you asked how many I think they're going to win based on that? None.
But that I didn't base it on that. I based it on just the two teams.
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that. My whole impression of everything has changed based on watching that game. I know shell-shocked, however you want to say it. So, you know, they've got to change a lot if they want to beat the Philadelphia Eagles. That was the team that had the matchup, and that's what scares me going into next year. But, again, also it gives me reassurance because I know Andy will evolve. How they do that, it'll be fun to watch.
I will say that, you know, this blueprint thing, I think that's great. Have an awesome defense, an amazing front four with a good secondary behind it. Like, yeah, that's going to work, right? That's just have a great defense, have talent. But, like, we've seen those same, you know, quote-unquote blueprint defenses lose to the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. The San Francisco 49ers last year were this team. An incredible pass rush, good secondary they can get you with 4. The Eagles 2 years ago, they broke the record for the most sacks in a season. That was their whole thing, this incredible pass rush. So I think the Chiefs just, as Dusty and we've all mentioned, just didn't really have the horses this time to go against it.
To get it done. Yeah, they didn't match up well at all with this team. And you know, we were kind of hoping that Nick Sirianni would be stupid in coaching and go for 2 when he didn't need to go for 2 and whatnot. That's a big reason why San Francisco lost that game. It wasn't necessarily because the Chiefs, their coach made major errors in that game that opened the door and Kansas City was able to kick it down. Nick Sirianni, Vic Fangio, they coached a perfect game. Kellen Moore coached perfect game. It was a perfect game to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Not many can do that. Not many have done that. But when you do, man, it looks like something like that. So the Chiefs just, you're right, Mac, however you said it, about the Chiefs just didn't have the horses in that game to keep up with the Eagles.
Yeah, I don't think it's something that the Chiefs can't overcome because we've seen them do it twice. I'm doing back-to-back Super Bowls the last 2 years. This time around, it just wasn't in the cards. They tried. If DJ Humphries doesn't pull that hamstring in that first game, maybe he gets back in shape a few weeks and gets in the playoffs and he returns to all-pro form. You know, the interior all year was elite. Jawan Taylor can be, you know, he can suffice. So I just didn't come together.
On the come. Oh.
On the come.
Oh, is that in the background?
On the come.
My goodness. On the come for me this week, Nick Sirianni, actually all the Philadelphia coaches. Vic Fangio, 0-8 versus Patrick Mahomes. Nick Sirianni, a loudmouth, arrogant, cocky SOB. Lean into it. Your team won. You're perfect for Philly. Big Dom, congratulations. You get a ring to go on one of your fingers and get to be a big bodyguard as well. On the other side, I will give it to Xavier Worthy. I mean, look, dude, that guy's a rookie who, whether you want to say, garbage time or not, he had 157 yards in the Super Bowl. I don't know what to tell you. Guy had a great playoff run. He's a rookie. Everyone said he was too small and really fast. We'll see what his role can be. How about basically a number one wide receiver to come back next year with another one wide receiver? And yes, I know there's possibly the suspension of Rashee Rice. Thank you for letting me know that. I appreciate it. But either way, he's going to play next year. So is Xavier Worthy. And that offense and those two guys could make this offense even more on the come. And you know what? Jalen Hurts. Give that guy some respect. That guy been through so much. Put him on the come. He's now up there in the Russell Wilson kind of category when it comes to quarterbacks. Can he get the big win? He did. Is there another one possibly in his future? Yes. Does he do things that other quarterbacks can't do? Yes. Does he make mistakes? Yes. But does he win? A lot. A lot. And he won a championship. And that's how many Russell Wilson has, and that's how many he has. Can he get back and do it again? We'll find out, but that's my on the come.
His playoff numbers have been spectacular this year, and he wins, and that's why, I'll take Jalen Hurts right now over just about anybody other than Patrick Mahomes in the NFL. He knows how to win. He knows how to get the job done, and he knows how to lead his team. I'm not taking Josh Allen. He's not a winner. Joe Burrow, not a winner. I mean, you can throw out all the stats you want. Jalen Hurts has rings, MVPs, and Mickey Mouse, so he's the guy that gets the job done for his team. He is definitely on the come for me, and a guy that I would consider like the second best now in the NFL. He beat Patrick Mahomes and destroyed Patrick Mahomes. Absolutely turned them inside out in that game. The other one that's on the come for me, Tom Brady's legacy is on the come right now, because everything that we're seeing right now is that you have to start talking about Patrick Mahomes being the greatest of all time. A lot of schadenfreude in Boston yesterday. A lot of people dancing on the grave, if you will, of Patrick Mahomes up there, because clearly the legacy of Tom Brady is all that they have, holding them down right now from a football standpoint. So they were very happy with that. And I happened to see somebody tweet out a headline from the day after that Tom Brady lost to the Giants for the second time in the Super Bowl. Tom Brady will never catch Joe Montana was that headline in 2011 of early February. And we all know what happened there. Tom Brady didn't just catch Joe Montana. He blew the doors off of Joe Montana. So right now, Tom Brady's legacy from a football standpoint is definitely on the come, because everybody's dancing on the grave of Patrick Mahomes.
Burning stuffed frogs.
Well, according to, do you remember our friend Kurt Benkert?
Kurt Benkert.
Never heard of him.
We've trashed him before. Former NFL bench
that
writer.
guy. Yeah. Marginal, not even marginal NFL player, nondescript NFL player,
third
right?
stringer for a couple seasons. Well, he's got Lamar Jackson on the come because he's got his way too early 2025 NFL QB rankings. Lamar sits atop the list. Would you like to know where Mahomes sits?
Oh, I don't, because I don't want to get angry and
fair.
just like really attack a stooge who's stupid.
Something tells me he has Mahomes at 6th.
Does he have him in the top 10?
He does have him in the top 10. Dusty's very close. He's got him at 5th.
Okay. Higher than I thought he probably would, right?
Below Allen, Burrow, and Jaden Daniels.
Yeah. How many Super Bowls do they have combined of those four guys above Patrick Mahomes?
One appearance.
One appearance. No rings, right? But continue to push them up there and continue to drive Patrick Mahomes, to do better.
Hey, man, that's like your opinion, man.
Exactly.
You still have Patrick Mahomes as the four people better in this league than Patrick Mahomes. Okay.
And one of them is in their second year.
Yeah, he's got your guy Hurts below Herbert.
Who's Guy Hurts?
Your guy Hurts.
Oh, below Herbert. The guy who wins in the playoffs, too, right?
Guy Hurts saying love hurts.
What's that?
Guy Hurts saying love hurts.
He did, yes. Why do people still love that guy out in L.A.? What's his name again? Herbert?
Herbert.
Mr. Playoff winner?
It's 2-day.
I mean, people are in love with that guy. And he's
Somebody-
0-2, right?
Somebody in the text line says, on the come, Hot Rod.
Hot Rod
is
definitely on the come, yeah.
Yes.
Better believe it. Better believe that. Got anybody else on the comeback, or does that do it for you?
Yeah, I mean, beignets are on the come for me. I got to find a good beignet here in Kansas City. Is that a thing?
I don't know.
Somebody's
That's like
got
going
one.
to New Orleans and looking for barbecue, baby.
Yeah, that's
right?
fair,
You're not doing that, but I'm sure somebody can fry you some dough and put some sugar on top of it.
Because I know they're funnel cakes, like we established, but they're a little bit different.
They are.
And the difference is enough for me to like it more.
You like it more?
Yes.
We went to a place on Sunday morning for breakfast, and the beignets were completely different than the ones at Cafe
Oh, wow.
Du Monde. They put red and yellow sprinkles on top for us because they knew we were
nice.
Cheese fans.
Let's
They were
go.
really good. Yeah.
That's cool.
Fun, but they weren't as good as Cafe Du Monde, I'll tell you that. The ones at
Those were
Cafe Du
so
Monde were
good.
fantastic.
Well, yeah,
yeah.
I mean, that's like, you go to like what's known for a great thing. Like that's what, like we went there and it was like, yeah, can we see your menu? And she just literally flipped over the napkin holder.
Like beignets.
She's like, beignet coffee? I was like, oh. Like food? She's like, no.
No.
You're at the wrong place. The wrong place, my guy. It is Tuesday, by the way, in Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
We had Saturday in New Orleans. So Oh, you might. Depends.
You don't get
know.
to double dip in the same week?
Yeah, probably. You know,
On the
yeah.
come.
Hey, I had sex in New Orleans. Did you?
Negative.
No, I had Mac in my room.
Yep. Fat negative.
Somebody tried.
Jeez,
but
okay.
We had to walk away from that. That was a wild night on Saturday. New Orleans, man.
Still trying to unpack Friday. Yeah. That was Friday night.
Well,
Saturday
was-
morning.
Yeah. Oh.
There were a couple nights.
I think there was.
Mac was hit on a lot down in New
no.
Orleans.
No, he wasn't.
One time he was.
Remember, his fiance lives.
So she should feel good. She's got an attractive gentleman.
Appreciate it.
He's a hot commodity.
Remember
Yeah,
when
it was surprising.
Remember when we saw that church change lights and then you just heard Bob go, "Oh!"
It was so cool, though, wasn't it? Yeah. It was
That
so
exact
cool.
sound.
Yeah, it was
It
so
was very
cool. It was like
cool.
every 10. It was like really cool designs on the church and
great.
everything with the lights and whatnot. After I danced, and Steven wouldn't let us post that for whatever
Yeah,
reason.
what the heck?
I don't understand why.
Well, go say he's in his
I was
office.
gonna say we're gonna get. I'm gonna get with Kramer and just get a montage of kind of our week with the guests and the fun and the beignets and the eating and the music and the whole thing. Kind of put together. I know it didn't end the way we wanted, but that doesn't mean the week of content wasn't still really good. So a little compilation video of 90 seconds of us hanging out would be good.
Yeah, it would be. It was because it was a lot of fun.
It
I think
was.
everybody had a great time and realized, why New Orleans is the perfect place.
It was awesome.
For that. I told you before the show. I was listening to Ben driving in this morning, and I guess Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, was walking around Bourbon Street. Nobody recognized him, and Ben said the nerd community was so mad that nobody recognized the CEO of Apple. I'm like, Mac ran into Lady Gaga in the bathroom.
Dude, come on.
That like Todd Bridges and Wendell Pierce. Did we tell the Wendell Pierce?
Oh, yeah,
Wendell Pierce lives in Kansas City for a little bit of the year as well. He married a Kansas City gal. They were down there at the Super Bowl. I mean, all the different people that you see. That's again why I think Bourbon Street, New Orleans is the best place for an event like that, because everybody is out there. It's not like you have to go to certain exclusive parties and whatnot to see the folks and to hang out with people. Everybody's literally there on Bourbon Street, just kind of hanging out, walking around, taking it all in. I saw Rex Ryan's Veneers walking around. Ed Reed and I took a sick picture
That was awesome,
one night.
yes.
Stuff like that doesn't happen in Miami or it doesn't happen in L.A. or Vegas because everybody's spread out. But New Orleans, everybody's there. So the CEO of Apple, who the hell would recognize that guy, right?
I mean, I took a picture with the referee who had a teardrop eye tattoo. So that was new for me.
Yeah. Saw Young Gravy one night. Took a picture of that.
Yeah, we saw Young Gravy, Joey Chestnut, and then there's Maud. No, but coming up on the other side, Jalen Hurts really does a number to the Chiefs in the playoffs. I ask you text line, 913-586-7965, the Jay Southland Tow Service text line. What athlete in sports do you know or comes to your mind that really just seems to just give your team the business every time they play them? An athlete that owns your team. 913-586-7965. We do that on the other side because Jalen Hurts seems to do it. You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty here on 96.5 The Fan. You're home for Kansas City Sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
Well, I'll tell you, Foaling is the place to go. We've got that cold weather sticking around, and it's going to be here through the weekend. You got President's Day weekend coming up. Hey, you need something indoors and fun to do with the kiddos, or maybe you're just looking for a cool night out, having a birthday party. Foaling is the answer for what you want to do. And now, beginning this week, I guess they began last week, every Monday at 7 o'clock, they're playing Jeopardy Bar League, and they're going to be the only place in town that is hosting the Jeopardy Bar League here in Kansas City. You'll play from your phone. There's going to be interactions on the big screen, and their own bartender and friend Pat Kerr, who's been on Jeopardy, is going to be the host, and it's all put on by Geeks Who Drink. So make sure you get there on Mondays to play Bar Jeopardy, but also every other day of the week to have fun fooling around and throwing that football, knocking down those bowling pins, and having some of the best time of your life. Kids, adults, parties, date night, everybody perfect for you is Foaling. Football plus bowling plus bar is Foaling Warehouse, Kansas City, and they're located at 435 and State Line. You throw that football, knock over those bowling pins, and you win. So reserve a lane now at FoalingKC.com. That's FoalingKC.com, and get your foal on.
Hardy. Jim Bob drinks his coffee with Jim Bob World Tour. August 14th at T-Mobile Center with Co Wetzel, Stephen Wilson Jr., and Sicarus. ACM Award winner Hardy live. On sale Friday 10 a.m. at livenation.com. Hardy 2025.
Sebastian Maniscalco.
Now, is this a family? Is this your mother? Where is she? Is she in the crowd? The mom's up there. What kind of family is this? I'm sorry.
It Ain't Right Tour 2025.
The poor mother is in the balcony, and the kids are down here with the father and his gumad. If this was the 80s, the kids would have been up there, and the parents would have been down here.
Sebastian Maniscalco, live on stage in Kansas City. T-Mobile Center, Saturday, February 22nd. Get tickets now at livenation.com.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-469-1635. 800-469-1635. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-469-1635.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have health news, a CDC update.
Pneumococcal vaccination is now recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose, and millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Mornings can start feeling the same. Wake up, brush teeth, go to work. But with breakfast from Wendy's, it's like, wake up, brush teeth, Baconate with a breakfast Baconator. Roll with the sausage breakfast burrito. Buddy it up with a Honey Buddy. Or get seasoned with seasoned potatoes. And then go to work. Sorry. When you're ready for a fresh wake-up call, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
This report is brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts, your professional parts people.
Buy 5 quarts of Castrol Edge Full Synthetic Motor Oil and get a $15 gift card after rebate, plus 2 times points at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Kansas on K10 eastbound, heavy from K7 out towards Woodland with a problem off on the shoulder. Heading into downtown, 70 westbound, slows past Prospect, stays very heavy into the downtown loop. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
All right, diving right through it here on a Tuesday morning. I got a feeling we're probably starting to feel a little bit more numb to it, right? Like we're feeling a little bit more.
I'm ready for OTAs.
OTAs?
Let's go. Get back on the field.
OTAs. Organized team activities? Is that what that stands for?
I think that's what it stands for, yeah.
Nice. So Jalen Hurts really good against Kansas City Chiefs in the playoffs, especially in the Super Bowl, I should say. 2 fantastic games. One led to a victory. The other one just led to a lot of stats that were really good. And you had asked the question to us last night, you know, who's an athlete that like just kind of always rose to the occasion against your squad? I mean, I have a few. I'm sure you have some as well. Pujols against the Royals. I mean, I feel like that guy just always smashed the Royals.
He smashed everybody.
Yeah, but I mean, like, the Royals a little harder. Like, I mean, he absolutely just, pounded the Royals. Peyton Manning to the Chiefs. I mean, my whole life, I feel like when he was in Indianapolis, he would kill him in the no punt game. Obviously, the playoffs there. And then goes to Denver and has to dominate for like 5 years with the Denver Broncos.
Mm-hmm.
Elway and the Chiefs, I think, is another one. A lot of heartbreak there. And then Jose Ramirez to the
Jose Ramirez.
So those are some athletes that always seem to rise to the occasion to me against teams that I root for.
Yeah, Von Miller was always one for me that seemingly did the job against Kansas City. Not so much anymore, but because he's kind of over the hill and whatnot. But when he was with Denver, man, I thought Von Miller was always a guy that would clearly step it up and make these huge plays. And you'd be like, man, this guy's just always all over the place. He's the number one guy that always stands out to me. There's a lot of people that dominated the Royals over the years because they were not that good for a lot of time and had lesser quality players for the most part. So it's really hard to pinpoint one person like that you can say, oh my God, this guy always dominated. But you start to think about guys on your team that seemingly dominated people all the time. Like Lawrence Taylor would wreck the Philadelphia Eagles back in the day. Every chance he got, he would absolutely destroy and shred the Philadelphia Eagles, when he was, leading the league in sacks and doing his thing and whatnot. And so he's a guy. And then of course, I hate to use this one because it sucks or he sucks, but Aaron Rodgers and the Chicago Bears, man, like that guy would absolutely just dominate the Chicago Bears and won like 18 games in a row against that organization. So like to me, that's the utter domination that we're truly talking about in all of this.
Right. I'm trying to think. Who would you say is like Mahomes owns like the Niners?
I think you could say he owns just about everybody in the NFL, right? The Niners, though, yeah. I mean, I think if you're the Niners and you see Patrick Mahomes coming, you're like, son of a gun. Like, every time they play the 49ers, it was like the Niners are better. They're going to win. They're going to beat them. And then Patrick Mahomes beats them, whether it's off a bye, whether it's in the Super Bowl, whether it's the regular season. Yeah, I think Patrick Mahomes has done a fantastic job kind of dominating San Francisco and being the guy that's the kind of their kryptonite, because you wonder how many more Super Bowl championships they have. Probably 2, I guess, obviously, if Patrick Mahomes isn't playing for the Chiefs. Because I think the biggest reason why, next to coaching, San Francisco lost those games because Mahomes was just better than Jimmy Garoppolo and Brock Purdy.
People saying the people that rise against their team, Madison Bumgarner.
That was one time, yeah, but dominated that World.
His YouTube video when you met him on Bourbon Street, Bob Fescoe in his captain's hat.
Oh, nice.
LOL.
Really?
So
That's
I'll have to
awesome.
check that out.
I like that man's hat, you know.
Somebody says John Elway by far.
Yeah. Is there any other quarterback that gave you the heebie-jeebies like John Elway did? Like, I don't think there's anybody now, quite honestly.
Josh Allen in the regular season.
Yeah, but I don't feel the same way as I did with John Elway. Like, John Elway, you're just like, all right, this guy's going to just dominate. You know when they get to games that matter, that John Elway was going to probably beat you. Josh Allen doesn't win in games that matter.
Yeah.
Maybe Joe Burrow fringely gives me kind of the creeps, but I think I need to start getting past that because I don't know that Joe Burrow will continue to give me the creeps, you know, like he did for the last couple of years. He was always one guy, or is always one guy that I look at. And as much as I love Lamar, I don't fear Lamar playing the Chiefs.
Somebody says Miguel Cabrera to the Royals.
No, that's a good one too, man.
Max Crosby to the Chiefs. Carlos Santana used to dominate the Royals, and Junior Seau against the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
I would say Junior Seau was pretty hectic against the Chiefs. So was Sean Merriman. We met him.
Oh, yeah, we met him.
Big as a son of a gun.
Could he still play?
So I asked, like, you got anything left? He goes, no. Maybe 3 plays. I was like, dude, you're still built. Like,
But he's, like, ready to go.
Like, we dabbed him up, and I, like, hit him on the shoulder. I was like, dear Lord. Somebody says the casinos to Michael Jordan.
Mm-hmm. Or Charles Barkley, or a lot of guys, yeah. Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
That's Perkins, though, wasn't it? Or was it Denny's?
Yeah, the Grand Slam.
Yeah.
Not the All-Star at Waffle House.
No.
I don't know if there's any other true athletes, like, Chiefs-wise. I'm trying to think of, like, Clinton Portis used to step up against the Chiefs. Terrell Davis was one. It just always, like, I remember, like, watching with those, like, negative Chiefs fans.
Oh, yeah.
They'd be like, it's like, they're just letting him run by. I'm like,
Yeah,
I don't think they're letting him.
yeah.
I think he's just, like, destroying them.
And how do you know if somebody's dominating you versus you just don't have a really good team?
It looks like they're letting him run is when that's domination.
But is it that because he's so good or because we're so bad, too, at times? You know, because there were some really bad Chiefs defenses over those years that, you know, who knows, anybody could have potentially dominated some of those. So I always look at that and go, how bad are we at this point in time where this team goes out or this player goes out and dominates? I mean, Mariano Rivera dominated all of baseball in closing out games. I mean, that's one of your biggest dominators of all time. The only guy to get 100% of the vote in the Hall of Fame, you know, was Mariano Rivera. So you could put him up on that list of figures that dominate all the time. Harrison Butker dominates people, too. I mean, that guy, all he does is kick field goals and win games for people.
Somebody said Buddy Hield against the Kansas Jayhawks.
Yeah.
Solid. Frank Thomas, the big hurt.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I remember watching
Jim
that guy.
Tomey used to dominate us, too.
I was going to say, I didn't want to say Tomey because I felt like I was against the Bob Fescoe. Like, well, he dominated everybody. He hit over 500 home runs. I mean, yeah. But, I mean, it seemed like every team Tomey played for, from the White Sox to the Phillies to Minnesota to Cleveland, there was always just, like, these Tomey, like, pipe bomb things.
Yeah.
It just, like, they were deep and moonshots. And it was always Tomey, just that left-handed stare down the.
I mean, Jim Tomey is, first of all, he's an awesome human. But second of all, he's the only guy, in my opinion, that made it look easy to hit at Kauffman Stadium because he just raked and raked and raked and raked. Like, he hit at Kauffman Stadium like most people hit at Yankee Stadium, right? Like, that guy just knocked balls into the fountains over the GA section. Like, he was just incredible here in Kansas City. I've never seen somebody hit that good in Kansas City like Jim Tomey did. That guy launched bombs in a ballpark where you're not supposed to launch a lot of bombs.
They were just massive.
I mean, they were
shots.
every home run that he hit at Kauffman Stadium was on I-70. I mean, it was nuts to watch that guy play. And as soon as gone, like you knew it right away. There was never any cheapos.
No.
He was stellar, man. That guy could absolutely hit at this stadium.
So is this Travis Hafner for the Cleveland Indians?
That's a rando one.
Yeah. Hafner was, but he's another one of those big. He might have been a righty, but I thought he was a big lefty. I think he was a lefty. Yeah, he was. Those guys, man. I mean, Mike Trout's he makes Kauffman look small too.
Yeah, but then not many people are able to make Kauffman look small. You know?
Jorge Soler did.
Yeah, he did.
When he got in that groove that one year, that was nuts.
Yeah.
That was nuts.
Moose did the 1 year too, where he was hitting bombs. You know, but I mean,
he really had that softball uppercut swing.
Yeah.
That he developed somewhere down low in minor league baseball and brought it back up to the major leagues, and it was nice. Coming on the other side, we get to Start Bench Cut, brought to you by the J. Southland Tow Service. Start Bench Cut, 913-586-7965. The other side here on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City Sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Well, I'll tell you what, Park and Go saved the day for us at the airport yesterday. My wife landed a couple minutes before me. She got on that Park and Go bus and immediately was back at the trunk of her car. She texted me. She goes, I landed. 10 minutes later, she goes, I'm at the car. That's how awesome Park and Go works. Even on one of the busiest days of the year coming back to Kansas City, Park and Go was quick and easy. And, man, our car was ready to rock and roll. And it was protected the entire time from all of the elements because at Park and Go, every spot is covered parking. Whether you're traveling for spring break, in the summertime, wintertime, especially this week if you're headed up to the airport, you want your car protected and covered, so you need to use my friends over at Park and Go. After you make your flight reservation, immediately go to bookparkandgo.com or with their easy-to-use app, make your reservation and prepay. You're done. You save money and your spot's reserved. Show up on the day of your flight, give them the reservation number, and they direct you right to your spot. They pick you up immediately and take you right to the airport terminal. And like I said, as soon as you land, that van's there to take you right back to your car. So do what we did and join their frequent Parker program and earn points towards free parking. Reserve your spot today at bookparkandgo.com. The best deals in parking. Bookparkandgo.com. Park and Go, family owned and operated. It starts as a nuisance and you just put up with it, but then that awful joint pain impacts everything in your life. Walking, climbing stairs, even getting in and out of the car hurts. Hey, it's Bob Fescoe. I'm talking about that always there joint pain in your knees, hips, shoulders, and back. But here's the good news. QC Kinetics. Groundbreaking treatments for arthritis pain. Long-term relief is now possible with no downtime. Tens of thousands of QC Kinetics patients would tell you, don't wait, make the call today. These new orthobiologic cellular therapies, including PRP treatments, can revitalize your joints without going under the knife. Look, joint pain doesn't get better with time, so before it's absolutely debilitating, see if you're a candidate for these life-changing regenerative treatments. Call QC Kinetics today for your free consultation. 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. QC Kinetics off 435 in State Line and in Gladstone. 816-412-6299.
Winter is more than half over, and things are looking up. But before we start thinking about spring lawn care, I'd like to ask you to look up at your trees. This is Larry Ryan at Ryan Lawn and Tree. And right now, before the leaves fill in, is a great time to find and take care of old storm damage, remove dead branches, and carefully prune trees for better growth and storm resilience. Now is also when you can save 15% with our winter rates. Our team of master pruners and certified arborists is unmatched in both skill and care. And at Ryan Lawn & Tree, they're also employee owners. You're not just a customer, you're their customer. I think you'll be impressed with the difference that makes. So will your valuable trees. Take advantage of our winter rates and enjoy 15% off all tree services when you book before March 1st. Call today or book online at ryanlawn.com/tree.
Attention lovebirds. Valentine's Day is almost here, and Diamonds Direct has the gifts to wow your special someone. From dazzling diamonds and trending gold to vibrant gemstones, pearls, even timepieces. With hundreds of stunning styles under $1,000 and an exquisite collection of one-of-a-kind luxury pieces. Make your moment unforgettable. The best selection, value, and service are waiting for you. Make this Valentine's unforgettable with fine jewelry for every budget. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Casey's has 8 new coffee roasts that have been described as having rich aromatics that entice any palate. But, we're not sure what that means, so we just call it darn good coffee. It's not crazy. It's Casey's. Now get a small hot coffee for 99 cents. See Casey's for details.
I'm at a smoothie bar asking people if they'd switch smoothies with me for $574.
Oh, I'll switch.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
That's a headache.
Nope, it's painless.
Oh, so it's easy money.
Yep, check Allstate first and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings vary.
Lowe's knows that your deadlines don't change, even when your job does. But with Lowe's Buy Online, Pick Up in Store, we'll help you adjust on the fly. And when you absolutely can't leave the project, we can deliver to your job site as soon as same day. Lowe's knows pros. We help, you save. Valid on eligible in-stock orders and select zip codes placed by 2 p.m. for same-day delivery by 8 p.m. Subject to driver availability. Fees vary based on purchase. More terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Kansas side, K10 eastbound, still pretty heavy from K7 out towards Woodland with problem off on the shoulder. Heading into downtown, 70 westbound a bit slow as you make your way from Truman into the downtown loop. Alan Card, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
Hang out with Cody and Gold. Weekdays starting at 10 on 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
It's 9 o'clock on a Tuesday. Taco Tuesday. Can't wait. Said I'm doing chili tonight. Perfect. Chili tonight, chili dogs tomorrow, a little tater tot ate on.
You bringing it here for us when we spend the night tonight?
I'm not spending the night here. No chance.
Well, that's what they want you to do.
Yeah, well, they can ask somebody else because it ain't going to be me.
Me either.
Yeah. No, I'm good on that. I'm good on that. There's no way that's happening. You think we get an email that the hotel up the street's going to be available?
Well, it's not. That Econo Lodge up there. I don't care if I'm not staying there. No.
What? It's like we've been in a hotel in the last week.
Oh, I'm not staying at that one. No chance.
You think Ubers are available when it gets like that?
No.
Find your own ride.
Yeah.
A-hole.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no chance.
All right. Start bench cut. Presented by Jay Southland Tow Service Text Line. I bring up the first one because I think it's relevant to what we're about to go through. So when it does this, because these meals can last, right? Chili, soup, or like a roast?
See, I will start soup. I like the versatility of soup. There's so many different ones.
Will you eat it up? So let's say you made your favorite soup, which is...
Well, I don't. That's a good question.
Right.
I don't know.
Let's say you make soup X. Would you eat it the next couple of days?
It's better the next couple of days. I think soups and chilies, I think, get better with the day as it goes on. The flavors meld and all that kind of stuff. So absolutely, yeah, no. So I'll start soup. I'll bench roast and I'll cut chili. I'm just not in a chili phase of mine right now. I'm out of chili at this point in time, and so maybe I'll get back into it. But for me right now, I'm out on chili. We've had it way too much, and I'm just kind of sick of it.
I don't think he's really into chili right now.
Yeah, I think he's out of chili right now. I'm going to bench chili. I'll cut roast, and I'm starting soup, potato soup.
Number one?
Absolutely.
You ever had somebody make you potato soup?
Yeah, it's fire. Thank you, Mr. Likens.
Bob's not a potato soup guy.
It's not
I know,
yeah.
so I got more of it. It was good.
Yeah, he doesn't like the creaminess stuff.
Yeah, give me like a chicken noodle soup, a vegetable soup, all that kind of
Those
stuff.
are great soups.
What's
Yeah.
the noodle of choice for the chicken noodle?
I think you use the egg noodle medium.
Okay.
Yep.
So he's done this before.
Yeah, and you cook the noodles separately. One time I cooked them in the soup and it absorbed all the soup, and I had no soup. I just had mushy noodles. So you got to cook the noodles separately. Yeah.
See, I start chili, bench roast, cut soup.
Oh, soup's
and that's
out for you.
tough.
That
And I
is.
love soup. Chicken tortilla soup, fantastic. Potato soup, broccoli cheddar soup.
Oh, I'm so hungry.
Oh, I'm sorry. There's green beans that are uncovered in the fridge and with the spatula still in there. plus wings from the tailgate on Friday before the Chiefs game on Sunday.
Wait. What's today?
Tuesday.
Oh, God.
But yeah, I mean, the chili, man, you keep that. You start it because you do chili, then you do chili dogs. And then the third night, if you still have any left over, Frito chili wraps, chili pie, or whatever you want to do with it. Bad guts for a couple days.
Yeah, that's the thing. I just ugh.
All right, sports start bench cut. C.J. Stroud, Matthew Stafford, Jalen Hurts.
I'll start Hurts, bench Stroud, cut Stafford.
Are we talking just for next season?
Cutting a Super Bowl champion quarterback.
Yeah, he's old. I mean, the other two guys have their future ahead of him. Matthew Stafford may not even play again next year.
Well, yeah, he's playing.
Well, there's no guarantees. Did there talk of retirement? Didn't his wife come out and say they were considering retirement last week?
Yeah, she had an Instagram picture of them being blurry.
She's believable.
Yeah. So, fair point
Taking
on that.
Matthew Stafford's wife's word for credit.
Yeah, that is true. But no, I'm still, because of the age, I'm still cutting Matthew Stafford, yeah.
I will start Stafford, I will bench Hurts, and I will cut Stroud.
Okay. That's fair. I mean, Stroud hasn't won anything, but I'm looking as where I'm going in the future.
If you're thinking future, absolutely. I'd agree with you 100%. I'm thinking just next year.
Okay. Speaking of next year, these teams.
Okay.
Washington, Minnesota, Chicago.
I'm going to go right in that order. Yeah. I'm going to go Washington, Minnesota, Chicago, right in that order.
I'm going to go Chicago, Washington, Minnesota.
You believe?
I'm still in.
Okay.
I'm still in on Caleb Williams. What about are you there, Dusty? Are you?
I'm starting Washington, benching Chicago.
Okay.
And getting rid of Minnesota because of the same factor of the Matthew Stafford narrative. I don't know who's playing quarterback for
J.J. McCarthy or Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I'll cut that out of my life.
Now, thinking Aaron Rodgers, yes, I'm cutting Minnesota and I'm cutting Chicago. Cutting both
no one on the
them.
bench.
But I was reading stuff out of Minnesota yesterday about going and getting Aaron Rodgers for a year.
God. Somebody says in the text line, chili, the food that just keeps on giving.
Yes, it really does.
That's very true.
Weeks later.
Okay. Clam chowder. I've never made
clam chowder's good. The problem with clam chowder, it's hard to make around here because you need a lot of clam juice, and we don't sell it by the gallon here like you do on the coasts.
Okay.
Is clam chowder in Jersey really good? That's got to be is that?
Yeah, I think it depends on what restaurant you go to. I like chunky soup clam chowder.
Yeah. Do you like the red or the white?
White.
Always the white?
Always the
Never
white.
the red?
I mean, I've had the
What's
red.
the red? Why is there
Manhattan versus New England.
That's what it is? Okay.
Yeah.
New England's the white.
Yeah. And I like that a lot, but I like the red too.
What's the password? New England clam chowder. Is that the red or the white? I can never remember this one. It's the white. Yeah, man. All right. Chiefs receivers that may or may not be here next year. Start bench cut. DeAndre Hopkins, Hollywood Brown, Juju Smith-Schuster.
Cut them all. No, but I would go Hollywood Brown start. Probably bench Juju, and I'm just out on Hopkins now, man. The biggest moment that everybody talked about for years that you never had the opportunity to perform in, you had a chance to make a big play and drop the ball and then blame referees at the end. I'm just kind of out on DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, I kind of got to agree, which stinks because I think Hopkins is my guy. I think I'll still bench
After
him.
that reaction,
I know. I think I'll still bench him. I won't cut him. I'll cut Juju. I'll start Brown. I think the Chiefs actually should really consider bringing Hollywood Brown back. I think him.
Depends on the money.
100%. Him, Brown, or him, Worthy, and Rice. That would be a scary trio.
I'm Brown, Juju, Hopkins.
Okay. Similar reasons to Bob with D-Hop, I suppose. Yeah.
Well, I mean, not just because of that, but I mean, it's just in the playoffs, Juju was there and Hopkins wasn't.
Yeah, Juju was big in the playoffs. Hopkins did nothing for this team. I don't know what he did behind the scenes and all that nonsense, but from a playing standpoint, what did he contribute, right?
I mean, the very first play of the Super Bowl was drawn up to Juju Smith-Schuster for 11 yards.
Right.
And then they didn't get a first down for another 3 quarters.
Well, I mean, things happen, of course.
Yeah. I'm just saying, but that's they were
getting dominated.
They targeted Juju Smith-Schuster in the playoffs.
They did. And DeAndre Hopkins had his moment right there, wide open. You can't drop that, man.
It's like the only what if moment in the whole game. Honestly.
Oh yeah. Well, the what if is what if we didn't play? It would have been better.
Yeah.
Or what if they sent Cody in goal? Would they have won?
Yeah, right.
The other one, we still got.
What if we would have gone out with Hot Rod?
Oh, we wouldn't have seen the game.
Yeah, we wouldn't have been there.
We'd have been at Lake of the Ozarks in the wintertime.
Yeah, right. Mac may not have gotten hit on if we went out with Hot Rod. Who knows?
Running backs for the Chiefs. Start, bench, cut. Kareem Hunt, Isaiah Pacheco, Samaje Perine.
Boy.
So Isaiah Pacheco does have 1 year left. Obviously, Perine and Hunt, both free agents.
I like Pacheco when he's healthy. Somebody said it earlier, whether it was Dusty or Mac, and I think you're probably right. He may not be 100% healthy yet, but I'll still start Pacheco, probably bench Hunt, and then cut Perine. But, I could go either way, cut Hunt and bench Perine too.
Yeah, that's fine. I think the fact that you could go either way kind of speaks to this trio as a whole. I'm kind of ready for a new regime in the running back.
Yeah,
room.
and I think we will get one.
Yeah.
Like Isaiah has that one more year of his rookie contract, but like when he started to play well and kind of came onto the scene that first year. Josh and I sat here and go, that guy's never going to see another contract. Like, you knew it right away. And that's kind of the running back shelf life in the NFL, unless you have one of the special ones like Saquon Barkley and you let him just go walk away at free agency to your biggest rival. But I think when you look at the running back position, I think you said it well, Mac. I think you hit the nail on the head with it's time to kind of move on from these guys.
Yeah. It's ran its course.
Yeah.
And then the last one, we'll do a little fun food one, leftovers. Italian, Mexican, or Chinese?
Chinese is the number one leftover.
I agree.
Everything else just gets cut?
Chinese you can eat cold, you can eat warm. It's so good left over the next day.
Yeah, I had Panda Express after you guys left the airport.
So you two-mealed at the airport because Mom bought you a cheeseburger and fries, and then you went back and got Panda Express?
Panda Express, yes.
The gut bomb king over there.
How long have you been at the airport? I've had lunch and dinner here today.
Yes, literally.
Mac's meal yesterday consisted of a Shake Shack burger and fries, sea salt and vinegar chips with a Powerade, and then Panda Express.
Slice of pizza when I got home.
Hey, look.
Oh, my God.
All right. I'm not going to lie. I got there. I got a Cajun sausage with onions, mustard, and relish.
Yeah, you smashed that.
I didn't eat the whole thing. I couldn't make it through the whole. I couldn't, no. And then I had a pretzel as well. But once I started to eat that Cajun sausage, I'm like, this is a bit much. So I got like 3/4 of it done, and then I had to toss the rest of it. So I was kind of with you. Like, what are you supposed to eat at the airport, And you were there for a lot longer than we were, and so you needed a dinner. Yeah, I don't blame you.
Yeah. Coming up on the other side, change. Nobody likes it. People are asking about it. I don't think it has to happen, but there's some things that do need to evolve. We'll explain on the other side here on Fescoe and Dusty with Mac Morey as well on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
Fescoe and Dusty.
I can feel it all the way down in my plums.
On Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan.
Well, it's basketball season, and we have fast breaks, we have buzzer beaters, we have block parties. There's nothing as exciting as basketball. And with Underdog, you can bring that excitement to wherever you watch. Playing on their app is so easy. It's so much fun, and I love the Underdog app. I loved it during football, and I'll tell you what, I'm going to love it during basketball season as well. It's as easy as choosing higher or lower on player stats, like threes made, points, rebounds, and more. Get those selections right, and you could win up to 1,000 times your money. Millions of fans have won over billions on Underdog. Are you going to be next? Join in on the fun by signing up for Underdog today using that promo code BOB. That's promo code BOB, and you'll get a free selection as part of your first cash entry, plus up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you deposit. So use the Underdog app and use that promo code BOB as well. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
Men, this is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and you've heard me talk a lot about how treating low testosterone can improve your sleep, your workouts, your energy levels, and more. But today I want to talk to you about your sex drive, because low testosterone can have a significant impact on your desire for intimacy. It can even be a factor in erectile dysfunction, and if you're in a relationship or wanting to be in a relationship, a low sex drive could really be a problem. The good news is that if you're like most guys, treating your low testosterone could really change the way you feel about sex, giving you back the flame and desire that is so important when you love someone. So if you're feeling sluggish and tired, if you're not sleeping well, if your workouts aren't that great, and most of all, if your sex drive is more like a putt, make an appointment at Heartland Men's Health and have your testosterone levels checked. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices, Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
With Target, checking off your Valentine's Day list has never been easier. First, surprise your favorite people with something extra thoughtful, like a soothing candle and a memorable scent, or a decorative picture frame to show off every moment. Both buy one, get one 50% off with Target Circle. And don't forget to treat yourself. Find the sweetest style for your special occasion with 20% off women's dresses now through Friday. This week, find Valentine's gifts for everyone you love, only at Target.
Old Spice Swagger Body Wash will make you the MVP of freshness and confidence. With its irresistible scent, it will transform your shower experience, leaving you feeling fresh on and off the field. Pair it with Old Spice Swagger Deodorant, the #1 aluminum-free brand that keeps you feeling like a Super Bowl champion 24/7 when used daily. But don't wait. This dynamic duo is available at Costco for a limited time only. Old Spice, official deodorant partner of the NFL and Super Bowl 59, where freshness meets football greatness.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why, when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Mornings can start feeling the same. Wake up, brush teeth, go to work. But with breakfast from Wendy's, it's like, wake up, brush teeth, Baconate with a breakfast Baconator. Roll with the sausage breakfast burrito. Buddy it up with a honey buddy. Or get seasoned with seasoned potatoes. And then go to work. Sorry. When you're ready for a fresh wake-up call, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
Okay, so that's with bacon, cheese, lettuce, tomato, grilled onions, ketchup, and hold the pickles.
You know what you like. You wouldn't order your burger just any way. Why should your sports talk be any different? With Chapters on the free Odyssey app, you can choose the topics that matter to you most. Whether it's reactions, matchup previews, injury updates, or team news, quickly find what you really care about. Your football talk, your way. Download the free Odyssey app and start listening today. Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Stick around after the sun sets. Twin Peaks is open really late. Wind down with bourbon and late-night bites.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Today, expect cloudy skies with a slight chance of light snow, reaching a high of 31.
Weather brought to you by Staples. Your local Staples store has hot deals and super low prices throughout the store on everything for your business. Save even more with the Easy Rewards program at Staples.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
Powering through on a Tuesday here on 96.5 The Fan. Bob Fescoe, Mac Morey, Dusty Likens with you. Mac may not be with us very much longer because he might have to use the restroom since he had Panda Express, Shake Shack, and a slice of pizza all in one day. He's a growing boy.
You had pizza too?
Two slices. I lied the first time.
I didn't hear the pizza part.
So he came home and smashed 2 slices of pizza.
Oh, you came home and had... What time did you eat Panda Express?
6:30?
Yeah, probably like 6:37.
Okay,
got
so
home like 9:30ish.
You
10.
had Shake Shack at 11.
Yep.
You had that salt and vinegar chips, which that's not my cup of tea. So, like, the smell of vinegar I hate. So I'm out on those.
They were great.
What time did you have those?
A couple hours later.
Okay. What time did you have Panda Express?
One time was my flight ended up being 6:30, so like 5:30.
So, and then
5:45.
then you came home and had 2 slices of pizza?
Yes.
From where?
Fat Solis.
Okay, and so, wow. I mean, my God, that's a week of eating for me. So, congratulations. It's not going to last. Let me just tell you right now. I don't care. I know you got a metabolism probably burning right now as a youngster. Ain't going to last much longer. So, you're going to have to readjust the way that you're kind of.
I'll get to the J with you soon.
You should. You adjust the way you go about your diet more than anything. Because as Dick Vermeil told me one day, Bob, you can't outrun your fork. I said, thank you. And, Tony Payne, he told me I was fat and need to lose weight as well. So I'll give you the heads up right now. You need to, it's going to catch up with you.
All right,
it's going to catch up with you.
I'll be smart. I like
By
running.
God, as long as you can eat and do all that stuff now, God love you. That cheese gets inside your arteries. You're going to be skinny fat.
Let me tell you something about skinny fat.
I got to see this Gruden video that we made it to.
Yeah, did you hear about that?
What?
We're on John Gruden's YouTube video.
No way.
Yeah, that's what the text line is saying. Yeah.
Oh, that's sick. Yeah, I mean, he was oystering it up right at that place that we were at.
I hope the part where he told you had a good voice is on there, too.
That's in there, too, man. That was great. It's a highlight of my week.
Is it like are we talking on this video or anything like that?
Yeah, what the heck? I
want to see it and see what it's all about. That was cool.
It says the 8-minute mark. Let me go to it.
Are we going to get Gruden on the show? Are you still working that angle to try to get him on?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
We're 100% on it. It's right here. Me, you, and Mac. We're all 3 right here.
Oh, that's so good. We're walking with Gruden down Bourbon Street.
Yes.
Yeah, on his YouTube
That's great.
channel.
That's awesome.
Oh, that is so cool.
I'll
We need to get that. We need to get that to somebody to do something with it. Yeah.
Yes.
Whatever that means, I don't know. But you know what I'm
There
saying.
it
I'm
is.
actually, I agree.
Comes up.
Oh, fantastic.
That's fantastic.
He goes, yeah, I know Mac. It's all of us taking photos with him shaking his hand.
Oh,
That's cool.
great.
That's cool. Yeah, I know Mac.
Yeah, I know
Great
Mac.
voice.
Does he say that on the video that
I
I
think
know
so.
Mac? Oh,
That's
you got to
awesome.
pull it. Go listen to it. Do something back there with that video.
It's at the
to the 8-minute mark, right?
yeah. So at 8:35 is where you need to find it.
And
Mac.
what's the video?
I'll send it to you.
I'm going to ask you guys a quick. Can we leave for the day now based on that topic on ESPN?
I don't know what he says in the video, but I'll send you the tweet. We were mentioned in the tweet by JC. Bob and I were, Mac, not so much, but I will send it to you via direct message.
That's great. That's wonderful. Awesome.
Yeah.
We made an impact with Gruden.
I don't know what he says in the video, but he's saying something. That's hilarious. So you saw something where they said Mahomes should change.
No, I didn't see something that somebody said. I saw a quote from Patrick Mahomes that says, I can't make bad plays worse. I need to learn to throw it away. And I don't disagree with that. And that was part of the reason they lost this game on Sunday is because Patrick Mahomes tried to be Superman. He tried to put on that cape and be something that he wasn't capable of being in that game. And instead of eating it and spitting on a pitch or like they say in baseball or getting him on the next shot, you try to compound things and it creates bigger mistakes. If a play breaks down, don't try to go out there and do something outside of your body, outside of yourself, and cause a bigger mistake to happen. And I think that's on both of those plays where he threw the interceptions, and they're kind of showing some of the highlights now on ESPN saying, has Mahomes taken a step back, which is one of the more ignorant comments and takes and topics that I've ever seen. He had a bad game that was caused a lot by Philadelphia, but also by himself. And he's right when he says, I can't make bad plays worse. I just need to throw it away. And that's been truly the one part of Patrick Mahomes' game that he has not been able to adjust to. And maybe that Super Bowl is that eye-opener where you can still go out there and be Patrick Mahomes and do those things, but have that, like that, the angel on one thing and the devil on the other, talking to you. Have that angel be a little bit louder and say, throw it away, throw it away, throw it away. Don't try to force something, because when you try to force something, it forces that snowball to go downhill a lot faster. And we saw that on Sunday night, in that game against Philadelphia.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just, one of those things where you get out of character every once in a while, and I think that's what we kind of saw there. And again, that's why I want to go back and watch the game on the television screen. And people had advised me not to do so. Bob has said, do not do it.
I'm not touching it now.
Yeah, I still want to do that when it comes on TV. I'm definitely going to watch it. I want to see like how it all looked from that sort of perspective. But yeah, I mean, there were just times where it was uncharacteristic, like running into the pressure, not trying to get away from it, or maybe trying to do too much. The picks were a little bit atrocious, but I don't think he necessarily needs to change. I just think this is another step where he evolves. Like,
right.
Maybe you don't need to be that kind of guy that has to be the superhero every single time that it starts to fail, because he is the rock of this foundation. And when that starts to kind of, rat a little bit, it starts and it affects everybody from Andy Reid to the offensive line to the weapons, because when they see your leader starting to try to like do too much or get out of his, normalcy of what is so great, it can affect everybody. And I don't think he needs to change his style per se, but evolve to what people will try to take away from you, which is what everyone's going to try to do: build a strong defensive front and just bring 4-man pressure and try to make that affect you. And once you, again, they've tried to do this in Mahomes' career. Take away things, he figures out where his spots are, and then he evolves quicker than most people do in the past. And in the history of the NFL, we've seen it before in multiple different ways, and it's always been a positive for Patrick Mahomes moving forward. So, yes, I think this loss really affected him and made him say some emotional stuff, which I'm totally for, because that's who he is. That's the leader mentality that you want in your captain and in your quarterback and Patrick Mahomes. But I do believe he will evolve and change things in his game, which is scary and what great ones always seem to do.
Well, you say go back and watch this tape, and I just happened to come across the Cooper, what did they call him? Cooper Dijon?
That's what the guy
in the
called
press
him.
box, right?
That's what I heard.
And I'm watching the Cooper Dijon interception by Patrick Mahomes. That was a terrible decision by Patrick. Terrible throw by Patrick. Like, he was not under pressure at that at all. He rolled out to his right and just threw it right to Cooper Dijon Mustard. I mean, it was a bad play by Patrick Mahomes. So that one wasn't because of the rush. That one wasn't because he was forcing something. The underneath guy was taken away, and he just threw it right to Cooper Dijon and decided to, he took it back for 6. And so I think that one right there, like that's one where Patrick Mahomes was trying to be a superhuman to do something, which I don't know what he was. I know a receiver fell, but that was way down the field. That was just a bad decision by Patrick Mahomes. You're already down 10-0, and he's trying to force something, trying to do something and make something happen that wasn't there. And instead of being down 10-0 and throwing that ball away and punting on 4th down, you threw it right to the opponent. He returned it. Now it's 17-0. And so, like, plays like that's the play in the Super Bowl that you kind of go back to and go, that one stunk right there. But Patrick Mahomes also, too, again, as we talked about yesterday, not getting used to being beaten, not getting used to being defended against, not really sure how to adjust during the game when things aren't going his way, like that boxer getting punch. Then he just tries to do too much and tries to make spectacular plays that aren't there and ends up hurting his team more than helping his team.
Hey, you better producer Mac over here. Yeah, he was just scared talking to you. Yeah, maybe we'll see you on Friday, buddy. I hope so, yeah.
I know Mac.
Hey, you better producer Mac over here. Yeah, he was just scared talking to you. Yeah, maybe we'll see you on Friday, buddy. I hope so, yeah.
That's awesome. You made Gruden's YouTube, and I know Mac.
Yeah, I know Mac.
Yeah, he had no interest in anybody else. Like
Yeah, he
the
really
whole
did.
entire trip.
Well, like someone else we know.
We'll try and get him on this week.
Gruden?
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. We tried many times. Didn't happen. Obviously, when you have successful franchises and you've got to continue to evolve in the league, as we say Mahomes will have to do, obviously, and I think it's ridiculous that they're talking about here on First Take is, has he taken a step back?
He had a bad game. Like that's how good he's been, that he has a bad game and people think he's done.
Yeah, not done, but like taking a step back. I don't know what that means. Like taking a step back to what? Like he went to another Super Bowl. Either way, but there is going to be turnover on this roster. Like they are going to have guys that are not going to be here next year that were here this year, because that's the way we do this. And you talked about it from the last time they played, or the first Super Bowl they played, and only 7 players remained on the team, 2 of which were Winchester and Butker.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully he found his suits.
He did. I got a text yesterday. He finally found the clothes, and he was the last one back to the team hotel.
Damn.
And did anybody see the video? They had the chain smokers at their party.
Oh, really?
Not one player showed up. All these fans were there, paid money for this party. Yeah. I don't blame them. I wouldn't have shown up either if I was a player. Some people were complaining about the players. Would you show up to it? You just got your ass handed to you in the Super Bowl. Last thing you want to do is go party with the chain smokers or anybody for
I'd
that
have taken
matter.
home whatever my post-game meal was and gone and hung out with my family and ate in sorrow.
I would have, if I was those guys and you got all the money in the world, I would have chartered a jet that night and flew the F home.
If that's allowed, I mean, yeah. I would have done that. I've been out of there immediately.
Yeah.
Wouldn't even talk to anybody.
No, well, you do your media obligations. You be a man, you own up to what happened, and you move on. But, like, going to the party now, I mean, like the losing team Super Bowl party, that's got to be the most depressing place on earth.
But you guys think that there's a possibility that Trey Smith's not on this team next year?
I do, yeah. I really do. And I think Trey Smith is a guy that I think now I've seen two different lists of ranking the free agents. I think it was CBS.com, and I think maybe the 33rd team had Trey Smith as the second best free agent, not free agent guard, the second best free agent on the market this offseason, and projections of getting about $19 to $20 million per year in a contract to play that guard position. The Chiefs don't have a lot of money under the cap. Not that that matters. It matters how much cash are they willing to lay out. And I think they're going to probably scale it back a tad this offseason because you're not going for a three-peat, right? You're not going for a four-peat. You said, all right, we put all our resources in. We got to the Super Bowl. And sometimes you take a step back to go forward. And a lot of teams do that. We've just been very fortunate not to see that kind of happen on the field. No matter who has been out there, they have found ways to win. And just because you aren't spending in free agency, because I think spending big dollars in free agency is a scam, and most of these players don't ever live up to the free agent money. You don't win championships in March. You win it when you draft. You win when you develop players, and the Chiefs have done a great job. So if they don't spend money in free agency this year, it doesn't mean they're not trying and they're not going to win. I think teams that spend foolishly in free agency, well, that's the Dallas Cowboys, and you see where they are every year.
Well, sometimes they don't even spend money in the free agency, and they still don't do well. So, I mean, I will always trust Brett Veach, and I know you can nitpick on draft picks and where they didn't exist, but, I mean, his track record enough to me is where he's going to figure something out, because when it ends in turmoil, he seems to immediately go out and find out, like, what he needs to do immediately. And when the offensive line was completely disheveled and just completely obliterated in that Tampa Bay Super Bowl, he went out and got the 2 picks in Creed and Trey, and then went and found Joe Thuney, right, in free agency. And you remember the draft pick that had all the young rookie studs on the defensive side, couldn't beat Joe Burrow and the Bengals because you couldn't get pressure and couldn't stop Jamar Chase. You went out and got a corner and got a defensive end. Now your offensive line also is the number one story going into the offseason. That is your number one job in the offseason, is to figure out where you're going to patch it up and where you're going to get better. If that is free agency, okay. As of now, $11 million in cap space, 6 picks, 4 of which are in the first 3 rounds. I think with that 3rd round pick, first overall in the 3rd, I think that's where you get maybe an elusive running back to kind of change things up. And we had Danny Hughes on earlier, if you missed it, check out the podcast. And he had kind of said, well, I don't know. They've never really, done the running back thing. Don't take the ball to the best player's hand, which is Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, but using that elusive style running back that can do both things instead of just power run up the middle and get you 3 to 4 yards. And when you do run, which you don't do it very often in a Chiefs offense, but again, we talk about the evolution of this league and what you can do. There has been a slight renaissance with that running back number. You see the successful team this year. They had successful running games. I get it. The Eagles and the Chiefs were in the Super Bowl, and the Chiefs didn't really run the ball like a lot of other teams. The Eagles did, and they were still successful without their running back because he was able to make things happen in the passing game as well, along with the running game. Even though he didn't have his typical Saquon Barkley game, he was still effective because of what he presents and what he can do outside of just running the ball. I think the Chiefs do that, address your offensive line, and kind of revamp what this offense can look like.
Look, the Eagles don't win the Super Bowl without Saquon Barkley, because I think even if that defense plays the way that it did, there's no guarantees that the Eagles get to the Super Bowl. And if you don't have Saquon Barkley, what style of defense is Spags playing against Jalen Hurts in this team where they don't have a running back, where they are relying on Jalen Hurts to play? It's probably a different look than what they have. So I think Saquon Barkley ended up being the difference maker. He'll go down as one of the best free agent signings in sports, because immediately it led to a change of who the face was of that franchise, allegedly, and then they go out and they win a Super Bowl. And Saquon Barkley, man, that was a great. If they don't win another game, that Saquon Barkley signing was worth everything, for the Philadelphia Eagles. But I also don't think and don't believe that you go into a draft saying we need to address these needs, because I think that's when you ultimately get into trouble. I think the Chiefs for so long have had this great plan in place where they're not going to just go out there and draft, we need a running back, so we're going to take a running back, or a defensive lineman, so we're going to take a defensive lineman. Those are the teams that perennially suck when you draft and reach. And, I always go back to Paul Charchi and talking about fantasy sports when you're trying to reach for a guy, when maybe you shouldn't, right? And sometimes teams get into that trouble when they draft where they go in with this mindset of we need a quarterback this year. And so you end up taking somebody that isn't very good and you pass on somebody that could be a very good player. So I always think going into a draft with a mindset of we need to address these positions, I think that's kind of fool's gold. And I don't think that's the way that the Chiefs operate in this. I don't think they're going to approach the draft and say, we need to get X. If X is there and that's the best player on their board at that time, then they'll take that guy. But they're never going to reach on a player and draft somebody because they need to fulfill a position. That's when you get into trouble, and that's when your franchise, in my opinion, starts to go down the tubes and starts to get weak, is when you're drafting the sixth best running back when the second best defensive tackle's on the board, for lack of a better argument.
And I'm glad to see the 816 on our side here. My side, I can take the lead in this if I need to, but it says the 2018 Chiefs had the rushing leader in the third best offense in NFL history. I'm down for a running back investment. And they got him out of Toledo in the third round, right? I believe that was Kareem Hunt in the third.
Yeah.
And I know Pacheco was a seventh round pick out of Rutgers, and Brett Veach would even say that, they got him a year earlier than he would have been because he came out early because Isaiah Pacheco knew he could make it in the league.
Well, he was a year back because of COVID, and everybody forgot about him, and that's why he was there. The Chief, that was the weird COVID draft where, who was that guy? Trey Lance was drafted as a quarterback or something like that, and nobody really knew these players. People fell asleep and forgot, I think, about Isaiah Pacheco, and he was there in the seventh, and that's why they grabbed him right there.
And I think that, if you do have that sort of thing, I think that also, adds to what your offense will be. And yes, you'll have Rashee Rice back next year, whatever his suspension is. When we get there, but he's back next year either way. Not Hollywood Brown, but Xavier Worthy's there, who took a massive step as a rookie. Then you have one more year left to Travis Kelce, who now goes from being the number one option to the number three option in your offense, maybe tied with third or fourth, because then if you add this sort of, type of player running back, then you have more options for Mahomes. You have a more, broad offense because you have more protection at offensive line. You can then kind of decide what you want to do if you have that sort of talent at a running back position, plus with what you have at your young wide receiver core, which is Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy and Travis Kelce coming back as a vet leader.
Yeah, and I also think, too, with the offensive line, Danon brought up something else. He talked about Kingsley and Wanye on there. What would the fan base feel if they didn't go out and get a left tackle and they left it a battle between those two guys? Is that gonna be enough for, perception-wise from a fan base standpoint? In my opinion, I don't think that it would be enough, but that may end up being the route where they end up going with one of those guys. Now, Danon did mention about, can one of those guys play guard, which is something maybe you have to think about as well. If Trey Smith walks away, do you slide Wanye Morris to the guard position or Kingsley Suamataia to a guard position to kind of help you there? So there's a lot of options that could be presented from an offensive line standpoint. I don't like either one of those guys being that left tackle and having that as the, I guess you could say, the battle going into training camp. I still want them to go out there and address those needs at that left tackle spot, whether it's via trade or potentially free agency.
Yeah. I mean, Mac, you're not super against, finding that sort of running back? I know it's not the Chiefs' style, but, who says the Chiefs can't evolve to a new style of offense?
Yeah. If the guy's there, great, right? But I don't want you to go out there and reach for a running back or reach for any position and pass up. Don't change what you've been doing over the last 7 years from a personnel building your roster standpoint, the ideas behind that, because you got throttled in one Super Bowl. What you have done for the last 7 or 8 years has been awesome. You never deviate because you lost in the Super Bowl. You address what you need to get better, but you still don't deviate off your plan. You don't change what you've been doing because you got beat on a Sunday afternoon by a team that just happened to be better than you that day.
Yeah, and I also think that getting that running back or getting that guy in the backfield doesn't mean you have to run the ball more than you pass or that you won't still be a prolific passing offense. That Kareem Hunt led the league in rushing his rookie season. They still passed for a crap ton of yards that season and threw a bunch of touchdowns. So, we've seen Andy Reid with, Westbrook, with McCoy, and with Jamal Charles all have success and that's still through the air, through the passing game. Having a great running back next to Patrick Mahomes, I am all in on that.
I'd like it to give Patrick that option, right?
Yes,
like
security.
Yeah, just something different. But again, you mentioned all those great running backs. They won the Super Bowl with the most nondescript running backs that we've ever seen. Like, that was a nice offense in 2018. They lost to New England, right? If I'm not mistaken, in the divisional round that year. And so they didn't even make it to the championship game that year. And so when they have Darrell Williams and Damian Williams and Isaiah Pacheco and guys like that, that's when they've been their most successful from a team standpoint. Again, I know I'm different because I don't really care about the stats they put up. I look at the wins. But when they won the Super Bowl, it really was with the most nondescript running backs on the roster. I don't know if that factors into the Chiefs at all, but I do know that they're not going to go out there and spend big bucks on the free agent market at a running back position.
I don't think that's going to happen. Yeah.
I will say, you mentioned security blanket. You're losing one security blanket, or if one is fading in Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
To add another one would be huge.
It would be. It would be nice to give him that option, because I don't think options and taking the ball out of Mahomes' hand, as Dayton talked about, is a bad thing. I think options may actually make Patrick Mahomes better, because it may keep those defenses off balance more. But you also have to utilize those guys. They went into that game on Sunday seemingly not thinking they had running backs on their roster, and they only ran it, 7 times with the running backs. You can lead a horse to water, but you got to utilize those guys. And Andy didn't even utilize those guys in the Super Bowl. Like, it wasn't even part of the game plan, it felt like.
By the way, baseball news, Kenley Jansen is on a new team. He's with the Angels, so they're still not going to be good.
Kenley Jansen?
Still going, baby. Signing with the Angels, apparently. Angels right-handed pitcher Kenley Jansen reportedly agreed to a deal, according to John Heyman, so he could be signing somewhere else very soon.
Very soon, yeah.
Just kidding, John. Kind of. But we'll wrap the show up on the other side here on Fescoe Dusty with Mac as well, here on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City Sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
Well, tomorrow we're talking about it is going to snow in Kansas City. And if you're out and about on those roads, you're probably going to need my friends over at Jay's Southland Tow Service. So right now, before the snow comes and everybody's calm, put their number in your phone, 816-779-4TOW. 816-779-4TOW or southlandtow.com. That way, when that winter weather comes tomorrow and maybe you get into a fender bender, you end up in a ditch, maybe you're on the side of the road and you broke down, or your car doesn't start because the cold weather's coming, Jay Southland Tow will be out there immediately. Maybe you just locked your keys in your car. Jay Southland Tow can help you with that as well. So you need to call them when you get into trouble. So have that number handy and ready to go. 816-779-4TOW or at southlandtow.com. Whether you're north, south, east, or west, Jay's Southland Tow Service is just a phone call away. Use the tow service trusted by most local police departments, and Tammy from the Weston, it's Jay's Southland Tow. There's nothing they can't do, so be in the know and use Jay's Southland Tow.
Fellas, this is Cody, and let's talk about getting back to your best. Maybe you lack energy, muscle mass, feel moody, have low libido. All of it could be low testosterone. Testosterone therapy, or TRT, may be the answer, and you'll find the true experts at Low T Center. But guys aren't the same, so don't settle for standard dosage TRT programs. I learned about personalized treatment at Low T Center. Get the results with a customized TRT. And for current patients, Low T Center offers a $150 referral credit when you refer a new patient. So go to lowtcenter.com to book an appointment. That's lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Hi, it's me, your USPS Ground Advantage shipment. Just left the warehouse and hitting the road.
I know. Just got the notification.
Great. Smooth sailing so far. I'm almost there.
Yes, I know. I get all the updates.
Made it. Safe and sound.
I know.
Well, did you know I was with USPS the whole time?
Oh, yeah. I know.
Keep your business in the know with the USPS Ground Advantage service. Visit USPS.com/in-the-know.
Shopping with your parents can be embarrassing.
Why would they sell jeans with holes in them? I'm going to speak to the manager.
Mom! That hoodie is giving. You should get it. YOLO.
Thanks to the Chase mobile app, your kid can shop independently while you keep an eye on their spending. So you can go from...
We can be twinsies.
...to...
How was shopping? Saw you stayed on budget.
Thanks, Mom.
Freedom for kids, control for parents. That's family banking from Chase.
Account subject to approval. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A., member FDIC.
Mornings can start feeling the same. Wake up, brush teeth, go to work. But with breakfast from Wendy's, it's like, wake up, brush teeth, Baconate with a breakfast Baconator. Roll with the sausage breakfast burrito. Buddy it up with a honey buddy. Or get seasoned with seasoned potatoes. And then go to work. Sorry. When you're ready for a fresh wake-up call, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why, when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Mornings can start feeling the same. Wake up, brush teeth, go to work. But with breakfast from Wendy's, it's like, wake up, brush teeth, Baconate with a breakfast Baconator. Roll with the sausage breakfast burrito. Buddy it up with a honey buddy. Or get seasoned with seasoned potatoes. And then go to work. Sorry. When you're ready for a fresh wake-up call, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
Coming up in a little bit, will be the guys from 10 to 2, Cody, Gold, and Drew. It's good to see them for the first time in a week. Their smiling faces, ready to rip some takes, Bob. You know what I mean?
That's what Mac wanted to do. He wanted to rip some takes. I got some takes I need to rip.
That's what he said, dude.
I don't know that I've ever had a take that I needed to rip. I've had a fart that I've needed to rip, but I mean, I got some I got some takes I need to rip.
Yeah, dude.
Go for it.
Takes.
Have you ever farted on an airplane?
No,
never
in
once.
the bathroom, yes, but not like
Okay.
you know, in my. Why did something happen with you on the airplane
No,
yesterday?
it's only happened once where someone's done it close to me and it like make you want to like gag a maggot. Like, I mean, that's bad.
I haven't been on a flight like that yesterday in a long time where every single person just wanted to get home, right? Like every person was done. It was like leaving Vegas, you know, but everybody had been down there for quite some time. There's one jackass getting on the plane that started to scream and yell about his wife, and it's her fault that they lost the game, and he was hammered drunk, and it's her fault. And he's screaming on the jetway, and everybody on the jetway was like, including the women behind me, were like, if this MFer costs us the ability to take off, we are pummeling him. Like everybody was to that point where like we would have drugged that guy off the plane and you know threw him out. He's hammered drunk and screaming about his wife not wearing. Like he thought he was trying to be funny. It was awful. It was just embarrassing. And we're like, if this guy costs us from getting out of here any later, that guy's getting his ass beat.
If this guy cost me to go eat Panda Express and 2 slices of pizza, I'll be really upset.
Mac wasn't on that flight. He had all that.
Yeah,
I got all that.
Well,
I mean, everybody was
you'd
done.
You'd have been with Mac if guy in Wonder Bread jacket from Ricky Bobby was going to get you on the plane. That's what he was wearing.
That's what he was wearing, the Wonder Bread NASCAR jacket.
You want to know what makes him even better of a plane guy?
What?
He stood up right when it landed.
Did he? Oh, you were sitting near him?
Oh, yeah. He was like 2 rows in front of me.
Okay.
And he talked the entire time he stood up. The entire time.
Oh, God.
And he was talking, you know what he was doing? Giving analysis on why the Chiefs lost the game.
Dude, nobody cares. Everybody's tired. We live the game. We don't need to hear you ripping takes on the plane.
It was awesome, dude. It was like, I was sitting there like with, you know, waiting to get off the plane and just sitting there. And it's just like, he's like, well, the problem is like left tackle is an issue. And I was just sitting there going, oh my God, I just want to like go watch the Waste Management final round.
Like, I want to go do anything but listen to Wonder Bread Jack and talk about the game.
Yeah. From the 913, things that never happened. Yeah, well, that 1,000% happened.
What's that?
The guy in the Wonder Bread jacket.
Oh, I'm not making. Why would I make that up? The guy was a douche. I mean, it was awful. I mean, yelling, and people are just like, dude, shut up so we can leave. I wanted to get out of there so bad. I sat middle seat, row 2. Like, I didn't care. Just get me on the plane and let's get home. And
I sat final row window seat.
Oh, you did?
I went all the way back. There was nobody there, and then there were 2 seats left, and there were the 2 people that were in the waiting line. And I was like, hoping I was going to see Mac come walking down.
Yeah.
Because he was on a later flight. I was like, I had a seat next to me. I was like, maybe Mac will sit here. And then it was like some like older lady in a Chiefs shirt. She goes, boy, I'm ready to get the hell out of New Orleans. I was like, that makes two of us. Put my AirPods in, watch Squid Game, and just flew the whole way home.
I think I was asleep before we took off and pretty much woke up after, you hit the ground and landed. It was one of those flights. And
it was a rocky landing.
Yeah, and I don't think anybody would have wanted to stay any longer had they won the game, right? I think everybody was ready to go, get that Super Bowl championship and move on. And, it would have been a more exciting trip back, obviously. And then when we landed, I don't know if you guys felt like this. I landed back, and then it kind of really sunk in like, damn, we got beat in that thing, man. That really stinks. There's no parade, and it was cloudy, and it just kind of felt apropos to like the way that the game went. But the trip overall, I mean, everybody had a great time, and talking to just all the fans that went down, they loved every minute of it until 5:30 on Sunday, and that's kind of when it went south for everybody. And then this guy on the plane just,
people in the airport trying to do the Eagles chant.
Yeah,
it's like, dude, come on. Like, how many times can you do it? Like, yeah, I'm sour. I was very sour.
Well, and you're sour against the fans because the Eagle fans, man, they're just like, I mean, I saw a video this morning. They're emptying a truck full of linens and lighting the stuff on fire. You're causing monetary damage to people's things that somebody else is going to have to pay for. And it's just they've run their course, but now they're the perfect villain, I think, in the NFL. And they're coming here this year to play a football game at Arrowhead Stadium. And so obviously Arrowhead's going to be ramped up when the Eagles roll into town, but the behavior of their fans is just deplorable, and it's getting old.
Do you think that the Chiefs losing to the Philadelphia Eagles the way they did, and then you see like how they party and stuff, do you think that kind of takes a little bit of the villain role away from the Chiefs now?
I do. Yeah,
do you think that whole narrative is gone, or do you think it's still there next year when the Chiefs play whoever, whenever?
I think it's probably gone because just judging the national reaction now, people have written off the Chiefs. They're done. Like, it's over for the Kansas City Chiefs, hyperbole speaking for a lot of these folks on the national networks, whether it's, ESPN or just articles that I'm reading, and, you subscribe to, your feeds and things like that. You start to see the headlines that are being sent to you. Is this dynasty done? Are the Chiefs over? Are they an afterthought? Blah, blah, blah. So I just think, like, the Philadelphia Eagles, like, Jalen Hurts is not a villain, guys. Like, he is a likable, nice, just perfect guy like Patrick Mahomes. Same with Saquon Barkley. Same with basically everybody on their team. The villains are their head coach and their fans.
Mm-hmm.
And when you can have the head coach and the fans as villains, I think they should be now the new villains of the National Football League. I mean, my God, they booed Santa Claus, and then they turn around and booed Taylor Swift. Like people who boo Taylor Swift, scum.
Well, you know why, though. I mean, she is from Philly, or was originally a Philly fan. You're playing the Philadelphia Eagles, and you're the Chiefs, and you're the girlfriend of the tight end. Like, there's extra boos.
But there's also a track record. They boo everybody all the time, right? They boo Santa. They boo Taylor Swift. They boo their own player. They booed Michael Irvin when the guy was laid out on the field. I mean, so this is an organization that just as a fan base, they don't have much class. And so I think everybody around the country is going to see the way that these folks behave and the way that they act. And I think they will become the villain of the NFL.
When do we dive into the baseball season?
Well, soon. It's pitchers and catchers this weekend, right?
That's right.
Friday. I'm excited for that, man. Like, it's going to be good, and we're going to open things up and see what this team can do. Their bullpen's going to be good next year. I'm excited for that. Or this year now.
Because somebody had the text line from the 75. Are we done talking about the Super Bowl loss? The season is over. Ready for the Royals talking baseball. It's time, guys.
Yeah, but it's also football still drives conversation in the United States 365 days a year. They have figured out a way to be the dominating story all the time. I mean, last year, and it's different this year, but last year, they had the opening of the league year the Monday after the NCAA tournament bracket was released. Nobody was talking about that. Major League Baseball, or not Major League, but the NFL took away the day where everybody looks at their bracket and talks about their bracket because free agency began that day. What the NFL base playoff, staggering 3 games for the Chiefs in 11 days. They've taken over Christmas from the NBA. I mean, what are they going to NFL just runs the sports world, and we're all in it. It's a big soap opera that's 365 days a year.
Maybe we can do that tomorrow. Our pre-Royals topics of what we want to see moving forward when it comes to these teams. We can maybe have Vern on this week. Binkley on tomorrow. We know he's geared up for baseball, so he's evergreen for the entire season. And I think it's interesting because one thing that we will talk about is the fact that last year we said, can the Royals get us to training camp? Can you get to mid-July being a competitive baseball team? They got all the way to October 10th.
Hell yeah, they did.
They got all the way to the bye week for the Chiefs. Yeah. So that is going to change. That's sports in a nutshell. Like, your expectations change. Like, what will your expectations be for the Royals
My
this
expectations are win the division this year, I think. That's the next step, right? If you're going to use this climb that teams make, you got a wild card berth last year. Now go win the division. But the problem is Detroit is really, really good this year, right? I think Detroit may be the odds-on favorite to win this division. I know Cleveland's going to be up there as well. Like, the American League Central went from this nondescript, nobody cares about division to like, all these teams are pretty damn good. Oh, Minnesota, they're good as well. I mean, the only team that's no good are the White Sox, and I don't know that they're going to lose 121 games again. They may lose 119, but I don't know that they're going to lose 121 games again. But this division got good. I think it's going to be a great baseball season. I think as a Royals fan, expectations are important this year. It's important to have expectations.
Somebody's so over the Super Bowl talk, they want to talk stadiums.
I'm not there yet. I mean, I think the Chiefs are meeting with the state of Missouri this week in Jeff City.
Oh, nice.
So we got that going for us.
Yeah, but
that doesn't mean, we'll see, what do you guys want? We want what Kansas is offering, or whatever the case may be. I don't know what the conversation's going to be.
But that is the good thing about going to the Super Bowl every year, because you have like 45 days, 46 days till opening day. Pitchers and catchers are reporting.
A lot of the position players are already down there, so that's a great sign. They're ready to go. They're excited about it.
Something else you can stay evergreen is you can go do something nice for somebody, because you never know. Change their day, week, their month, or even their year. Kansas City, it is simply cool to care. Stay kind, stay safe, and stay here on 96.5 The Fan, because coming up next, Cody Golden Drew from 10 to 2. 96.5 The Fan, your own Kansas City Sports. Talk to you tomorrow. Maybe.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty.
What the hell's wrong with your station?
On Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, it's Cody and Gold once again, telling you about our friends over at Centric, and we've all been dealing with this brutal weather in Kansas City. Maybe you work outside, and look, you've just had enough. Well, you can start a brand new career with our friends over at Centric, because they allow you to advance your career on your time with their flexible schedule.
Classes start in February. You get to choose your curriculum, go with that new career path, and stop worrying about what the weather will do for you. Call our guy, Russ Mondry. He's been with Centric for 16 years and will be with you to guide you every step of the way. Go to Centric.com now.
Party. Jim Bob drinks his coffee with Jim Bob World Tour. August 14th at T